right, good evening. Welcome to July 13th Board of Trustees business meeting. Let's start with the pledge. Bill, you can stay seated, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. No additions or deletions, we're just gonna go on that one?
Correct.
So we'll just go through with it?
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody have any additions or deletions for tonight? With none, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion. So moved.
Bill, so moved. We got a
Second.
Mark, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay. We have a couple of presentations tonight. I think what we're going to do, wait, where is Janelle? Janelle, how long is your presentation?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Why don't you go first? We're going to do this. Is that all right? Are you all set? Okay. We also have a bridge presentation, which obviously is going to be longer, and I want to save that. We'll go right after you then. Just a little background. I asked Janelle to come. There's a couple things going on at the airport, and I wanted her just to explain it just real quick. If we can just get 5 minutes, I think that would be real good.
Sure. Let me put the microphone on, but. Well, I'm messing with this. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody tonight?
Lovely. Is your microphone on?
It should be.
Oh, it is now.
That was
I hear it.
that was my testing.
Okay.
But all right. So as you all are aware, I applied for a grant back about a year and a half ago for, with DTE for what they call the Emerging Technology Fund Grant. And we were awarded the grant, and our consultant, which is Metro Consulting Associates, with part of the grant, we decided to use this as an opportunity to display a true multimodal summit, which the summit is going to be happening on July 29th. Lots of exciting things are going to be happening this day. So DTE has an e-fleet, so they will be doing a ride and drive that day, where it's open for registration for industry leaders, and then later on in the afternoon timeframe, it will be open to the public based on availability for that ride and drive. Through the past maybe 3 weeks ago, we did secure, which is super awesome to announce, that the EV Tesla Semi will be unveiled here to the state of Michigan. I don't know exactly what time. I do have an agenda, but I can't remember exactly what time that's going to happen. So I can share the agenda with everybody. We're solidifying the agenda right now. It's still kind of a flexible agenda. Live demonstrations are going to include, I believe I secured the U.S. Coast Guard will have a live demonstration. I did talk to the U.S. Navy today, Jameson, and Homeland Security, so hopefully there will be a live demonstration with them. Exciting news, as of last week, we did secure a EV boat that is coming from Detroit, and they will be doing rides at Water's Edge Marina. So we partnered with Zaid to be able to secure a boat slip for the for the EV boat. So super exciting. Also last week, my engineer, CNS, sponsored a event at the new restaurant also down there at Water's Edge at the Island Grill, I think is the name of it. So we will be doing cocktail hour or happy hour and appetizers there from 4 to 5. So there'll be a 12-passenger EV shuttle bus that will be taking people from the airport down to Water's Edge Marina, and then back and forth. So super exciting news, and I was going to play. But anyways, we'll see what happens. And then today, I think we might have, we're asking for FAA approval to do maybe the first of its kind, a flight from the Detroit Smart Parking Lab. If you're familiar with that, it's downtown Detroit. It's kind of a small test hub, which is out of Michigan Central. If you're familiar, it's next to Michigan Central. They have a testing facility there where they do a lot of innovative testing, from drones to, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. And we are hopeful that we will be getting a ultra-light flight, which is also electric, to fly over the water, which is 18 nautical miles, to here to Grosse Ile Airport and land. So keep watching. If you guys are on LinkedIn, is kind of where we've done most of our advertising, because the focus is pretty industry driven. So people that are looking for opportunities to utilize our facility really as a test bed for advancement in air mobility. So super exciting news coming on the forefront. So if you guys are not bored and are looking for something extraordinary to do on that day, I hope to see a lot of your faces. Super exciting news. I did partner with the Detroit Regional Centropolis, which they have the global epicenter of mobility company that they funded for us to do all of the registration and event planning. So we did secure that just about 2 weeks ago. Lots to come. It'll be in 2 weeks, and that's really all I have to say on that.
Thank you very much.
Go for it. You have questions, Joe?
No, I was going to make a comment. Real quick, to come, do you have to register to come down here, or is it only for the certain things? Because it only took me about a minute to register. Go ahead. Do you want to
Go ahead.
speak on it? No, it only took me a minute to register. It's not a big deal, but can you just come down without registering? Those are for the events or the classes that you're going to have in the morning?
Yeah, correct. So those will be, really the registration is to attend the roundtable events, or if you're going to be an exhibitor or a vendor or a participant in the live demonstrations.
Okay.
But yeah.
I just want to make sure that was clear.
And there will be registration day of event also.
All right.
So if it turns out that they change their mind on how they want people to register, it will be available the day.
All right. Thank you very much.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Any
Yeah,
other
I think,
questions?
go ahead.
I was just going to say clean energy. I'll be there. And I talked to you a while ago on this, and it was really just a small thing. And you just nailed it. And I want to congratulate you. I mean,
Thank
you
you.
got it so much bigger, and you're promoting the clean energy. And so congratulations. It's
Thank you.
huge.
Thank you.
So
So this isn't it's funny, this uncrewed, autonomous, multimodal transportation isn't exactly the bleeding edge of technology anymore, right? This stuff is coming, it's developed, like industry is capturing it, and Michigan, if you paid attention to Michigan economic policy, has tried to position itself as an industry leader for autonomous and uncrewed air, land, and sea vehicles. So I think this is very poignant, very timely, and I really like it because the chances of Grosse Ile becoming a major commercial hub for flight transportation is very limited, right? We're not going to be bringing in any 747s anytime soon. However, the opportunity for us to become a hub for autonomous or uncrewed or semi-autonomous, especially like air and sea vehicles, is real. So I think you're striking where the iron's hot in the right places. So good job, Janelle. I appreciate the hard work you put in.
Thank you. Anybody else?
All right.
You good, Joe?
I'm just going to echo what both Mickey and Jamison said. I think you're really proactive in everything you do. I think you're always looking for things that can be brought into the airport that make a difference, and I really appreciate that, and I think everybody recognizes it, and it's a fabulous job.
Thanks. All right.
Thank you
Everybody's
very
gonna
much
be
for your
there.
time. Thanks
Hopefully
for
we'll have
coming
something
tonight,
cool.
Janelle.
Bye, guys.
Our next presentation will be Patrick Smithbauer, who's our chair of the Bridge Commission. And can you pronounce your last name? I'm so sorry.
Swibel.
Swibel.
Yeah.
I want to get that right. Okay, so Ann Swibel is with Patrick, and they are going to talk about the project that's coming up for the toll bridge rehab. And it's all yours. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to, first of all, talk about our engineering company that's doing the work with us, but before I do that, let me just make sure that if any of you don't know the commission, Patrick Smithbauer, I'm chairman. Also Daryl McCarty, who's not here tonight. He's the vice chair. Christine Doyen Bailey is here. She's the secretary. And Chris Johnson is the commissioner here with us. Joe, of course, sits on the commission with us. Derek plays a major part. Teresa McLaughlin is our financial director. She's on it with us, along with Soil Subak, the township engineer. So we're very happy with all the input we've had from them. Now back to the engineer. Hardesty and Hanover is our engineering company. They're one of the top bridge companies in the country, bridge engineering companies. Headquartered in New York City, have 33 offices around the country, over 600 employees. They've been in business for a meager 139 years. Their experience, especially on movable bridges, which ours is very extensive. They've been involved with Wayne County on their bridge coming to Grosse Ile. If any of you have been to Port Clinton, there's a drawbridge there. They have worked on that. Ann herself has worked on that. And they've even gone as far as worked on the Tower Bridge in London. So, now, also, just of interest, you remember Hurricane Ian that hit recently. It blew out the bridge that goes over to Sanibel Island. They were the engineers that worked on that, part of the team that got it up and operating again in 3 weeks. So it's amazing. Now, let me introduce Ann Swibel. She's a principal associate at Hardesty in Hanover. She's located in the St. Paul office in Roseville, Minnesota. Ann's our project manager, has been working with us all along. She's a professional engineer, extensive experience. She's been with this company now for over 40 years, growing with it, and has a lot of experience also in movable bridges. So thank you, Ann, for the work you've done for us, and I'll let you take this presentation, then I'll come back in at the end.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ann Swibel, the project manager for this particular project here, the Grosse Ile Toll Bridge Rehab. So we put together a few slides to give you some of the background of the project and what we're doing, what the project needs are, what the scope of work is, that sort of thing. Okay, so a little history first. The toll bridge is 113 years old, which is really old for a bridge. It was owned and operated until 2024 by the Grosse Ile Bridge Company, a private company. In 2024, the owner, the Grosse Ile Bridge Company, decided they wanted to sell the bridge. They were done. And after an inspection, H&H did an in-depth inspection. We wrote a scoping report to define what this bridge would need to bring it kind of up to snuff, and presented that to the township. We were given the design project. So in 2024, when we inspected it, the load carrying capacity of the bridge had been reduced quite a bit. The Grosse Ile Bridge Company had patched it up over the years, but nevertheless, there was a gradual reduction in carrying capacity, mainly due to steel deterioration, but also the machinery, much of which was original, had far outlived its design life. So in 2025, the township decided to purchase the bridge and hired H&H to do the rehabilitation project. So we've been working on this rehab design for a little more than a year. The plans are about done. We're just doing some final QC on them now, and we expect it to go out to bidders in about a week. I had a virtual meeting with a bunch of contractors a few weeks ago just to make sure it was on people's radar, that they knew this project was coming. These are contractors that we know do movable bridge work. And we put a public notice out on the Michigan Infrastructure and Transportation Association website, but I also called a bunch of contractors that we've worked with on other projects, just to make sure we get enough interest in this. So that's kind of the project history. Whoops. Okay, so then the question is, why is the township doing this? There are two bridges that go from the mainland to Grosse Ile, as we all know, the Free Bridge, which is owned by Wayne County, and the Toll Bridge, which until 2025 was owned by a private company. The Free Bridge is also about 80-some years old. It's had a lot of repair work done in recent years, and it's going to need a lot more repair work. And when it has work done on it, the bridge is generally closed, and all of that traffic goes to the toll bridge, including the truck traffic, which normally does not take the toll bridge. So the township determined that they wanted a second viable means of access to the island, and that rehabilitating the toll bridge would do that. So the rehabilitated toll bridge should provide reliable access under both normal conditions and during the Free Bridge closures. Its live load capacity is being upgraded quite a bit. And then adding to the bridge project itself is the widening of Bridge Road. This will provide an additional eastbound toll booth for when the Free Bridge is closed to alleviate traffic, and it'll also provide an additional westbound lane at the Jefferson intersection, so giving people on Grosse Ile a lot more storage capacity at that intersection. So there are several project objectives here that were established at the very start of the project. The first and foremost is to address all the structural, mechanical, and electrical deficiencies of this bridge. And they're significant. The bridge is held together, but I think everyone knows that now and then, even the toll bridge has been out of commission when something has happened. Second project objective is to strengthen this bridge to carry every vehicle that currently takes the Free Bridge or the Parkway Bridge. The Parkway Bridge, I think, is posted right now for a 40-ton limit. The toll bridge is posted for 7.5 tons. H&H did a load rating of that bridge when we did the inspection, and its actual capacity is significantly more than 7.5 tons, and I think the owner was being conservative when he did the posting. But in any event, the new bridge, or the rehabilitated bridge, will carry what's called an HS25 live load, which is more than the Parkway currently carries, more than the Free Bridge currently carries. Third objective was to reliably accommodate vehicular and vessel traffic for the next 25 to 30 years. So this is considered to be a 25 to 30 year rehab project. Typically for electrical equipment, 25 years or so is what you will get before the vendors stop supporting that equipment and you have to replace it. This stuff, goes through generations pretty quickly. 25 to 30 is also typical for the new machinery that we're putting on this bridge. As far as the structure goes, if everything is well maintained through the years, it should easily last that long. We're replacing a lot of members on this bridge. And the fourth objective was to improve Bridge Road, to reduce the traffic backups that happen every time the Free Bridge closes. So the approximate project schedule, we plan to put the plans and specs out for bid next week and have the bids due at the very end of August. We're thinking that by the time the contracting process completes, we can give a contractor notice to proceed at the beginning of November. The anticipated construction duration is about 24 months. That includes all shop drawings and fabrication of new steel and equipment and all that sort of stuff. And we're doing this as a best value award. It may not be purely low bid. We're going to weigh the bids with the construction schedule and sequence that we're requesting from the contractors. It may be that the low bid is the one the commission decides to go with, or it may be that a slightly higher bid but a shorter construction duration is what they select. And it's made clear to the potential bidders that a goal of the project is to minimize the bridge outage. By that I mean if a contractor has notice to proceed November 1st, the bridge may not be closed for 5 months or so while he's doing his shop drawings and procuring material and stuff. It's not going to be closed until he's actually ready to start work in the field. This is just a location map. I think everyone knows where the Grosse Ile Toll Bridge is, but I had this in my contractor presentation, so I kept it here. And this shows the Bridge Road location too. So just a brief description. The bridge is about 1,000 feet long and includes a 305-foot swing span. And the bulk of the work here is going to be on the swing span, really. And as I said, it was constructed in 1913. A lot of repairs, but a lot of the material is actually original. So this is the scope of work. For the structure, we're replacing the bridge deck and all of the stringers. The stringers are the longitudinal members immediately below the bridge deck. We're replacing all of those. We are strengthening all of the floor beams that the stringers frame into. We're repairing the trusses. We have some repairs to do at the piers and abutments, but just above water, above the water line. And this is a large item. We're cleaning and painting the entire bridge. That's a pretty big item. Mechanical rehab consists of replacing the rack and pinion at the pivot pier with hydraulic cylinders and a hydraulic power unit. So we're changing the machinery significantly. We're also replacing the bearings at the rest piers. And that's kind of a long lead item. Those rest pier, that wedge machinery at the rest piers is kind of long lead. So is the deck. Electrical rehabilitation, we're changing everything, replacing everything electrically. On Bridge Road, we're widening Bridge Road to provide an additional lane from the toll plaza to Jefferson in the westbound direction. We're reconstructing Bridge Road at that Jefferson Avenue intersection, resurfacing the road from Jefferson to the toll plaza, providing a second toll booth, which will be used primarily when the Free Bridge is closed and you want more lanes going in the eastbound direction. And also the traffic signals at Jefferson will be upgraded. There will be one traffic signal arrangement for when the Free Bridge is closed and one for when the Free Bridge is open. These are just a couple of photos that I have of current conditions to give you an idea of what some of it looks like. So the steel from 1913 is pretty beaten up. This is why the load rating is low. It's generally a floor beam that controlled the load rating of this bridge, but also some concrete deterioration. So these are cracks that'll be repaired and the concrete above water will be sealed, that sort of stuff. Whoops. There we go. The rack and pinion is coming out and being replaced with 4 hydraulic cylinders. And we decided to go with hydraulics after thinking about this a little bit because it's a significantly lower cost. It'll meet the 25 to 30 year lifespan that you're looking for. And there are lots of vendors in the Detroit area that will be able to maintain this, and I'm sure the township will hire one of these vendors to do the annual maintenance on the bridge. The swing span bearings on the right, those will be replaced with wedge machinery that's typically used nowadays on swing spans. And for electrical, right now what you have out there are traffic gates by AASHTO, the organization that defines the bridge design code. What AASHTO requires for a swing span is something called resistance gates. They're a lot stronger. So we're going to relocate the traffic gates to the ends where the traffic lights are, the end of each bridge, and install resistance gates on the bridge. Not much is being done with the operator house except the desk will be replaced. The bridge is going to be configured so that an operator does not have to go out to the house. Like in the slow season, when you don't have a lot of openings, he'll be able to operate the bridge from the toll plaza area. And these are the bridge road improvements. So this slide shows the improvements when the free bridge is open. So 2 lanes in each direction at the toll plaza and 2 lanes in each direction at Jefferson Avenue. And this is when the free bridge is closed. 1 lane in the westbound direction going through the toll plaza, widening to 2 lanes before it gets to the intersection, and 2 lanes coming from Jefferson, widening to 3 lanes at the toll plaza in the eastbound direction. And this slide just shows that Jefferson Avenue intersection. I just want to point out that there will be a left-hand turn lane and a right-hand turn lane in the westbound direction. And also, this is where the signalization will be modified when the free bridge is closed for construction. And now I'm going to hand this back over to Patrick, who will talk a little bit about the finances of the project.
Thank you. Which one moves it forward?
This one does,
Okay.
the down. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And if I don't know the answer, I can find out the answer.
So this is where we're looking to be, or this is where we are here relative to the financial. We purchased the bridge, $13.5 million. Engineering studies and engineering work, $3.52 million. Maybe somewhere close to half of that has been spent. Bridge construction estimate from our H&H group. They put that together, $39.34 million. And the breakdown below, you can see the areas that it adds up to that 39.34. That brings the total bridge cost to $56.36 million. Now, the roadway improvements are about $800,000. So you add that on top of that, we have a total project estimate of $57.16 million. Now, where's that going to come from? So we've authorized bonding. Current bonding is 21.85, but there's a total allocated authorized bonding of 59.74. So 59.74 could be available if we need that much. We also have net revenues above expenditures that have given us some funding. Last year we had about $2.82 million of revenue above expenditures. And we're expecting about 1.4 through December. In December, the bridge would close, more or less, and of course you don't get any tolls after that. So we have no funding after that. The total of these come up to 63.96, so about $64 million of available funding that we could use. So if you look at it, we're under the budget compared to the estimated cost of 57.52. So we feel like we're in good shape at the moment. These are estimates. We'll see what the bids come in at. If they come in lower, we're in better shape. If they come in over, then we have to put our thinking caps on and see what we're gonna do about it. Yes, Bill?
If I'm understanding you correctly, we'll be going a few more months, maybe at least until November. If we continue to operate profitably, there should be a little bit higher figure where this 63.96 is. That'll help us some more.
Anything there would help us more. I was guessing we might have about 1.4 million until December, but we could end up with a little bit more than that. That's true, Bill.
Thank you.
But won't we be staying open longer than December? You were saying that whoever gets it is gonna go off and have to do their own planning before they actually start work on the bridge?
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
Our objective is, don't close it any sooner than we need to. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
If you look at that, part of the goals and objectives, as we've been talking, I mean, our goals and objectives to rehabilitate the bridge to be reliable for the next 30 years. Increase the bridge capacity to the HS-25 highway loading. That's significant, so we don't have load restrictions coming across there. Provide efficient and safe operation for traffic, for drivers, for employees. And improving traffic flow with better roadway and better signalization. During normal operations, which means Free Bridge is open, we have wider pavement. You're going to have a left and right turn lane up on Jefferson Avenue, a little wider pavement, it'll flow freer. But really the critical part is if during Free Bridge closure time, we will have much better situation because we will basically be doubling the capacity of the pay lanes. Rather than one pay lane, we're going to have 2 booths. Plus easy access to the bridge pass lane. And if you want to, let me just drop back and look at this one. You see here, when the Free Bridge is closed, there's 3 lanes coming onto the island. The 2 on the right are both pay lanes, if you're coming in. And then the one that's the 3rd lane, which would be the left lane coming through, is where the bridge pass holders would go through. So they won't have to cross over the traffic that's waiting, which we did last time because people had to get over to that lane. So we think this is going to work, it will work much smoother than what had been before. I give the bridge operators a lot of credit for what they did and how they made it work. This last bridge closure, the Free Bridge, worked out quite well. This will help even more so.
That's a quick question. I'm sorry.
Yes. You want to go back to that?
Yeah, looked at the 3 lanes coming on. How are we gonna deal with the bottleneck situation? We still only have 2 lanes on the bridge, correct?
We still have 2 lanes on the bridge, yeah, 1 each way.
One each way. So is there gonna be some kind of a light system to help kind of control the bottleneck after people get past the toll booths?
Well, the way this is set up, if you notice the 2 on the right merge together first. And then the pass lane merges with the merger of those 2. So we don't have 3 lanes coming together all at once. We got 3 going to 2 and then 2 going to 1 coming over. We did give that some consideration, yeah.
We've actually expanded the road width in that area to accommodate a larger merging space.
The
to
distance is
facilitate-
greater,
yes,
too.
3 to 2
Okay.
to 1.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So did we partner with the city of Riverview to be able to make all these changes? The light at Jefferson and,
No, that's Wayne County.
that's Wayne County?
Yeah, that's us
Yeah.
in Wayne County. Yeah,
And we have submitted the plans to the county, and we do have a commitment letter for permitting on the work that's being.
we don't need Riverview's permission.
What about though, the police department directing traffic when the other bridge is closed, right?
That still can happen. I
So
mean,
we partner with them then?
oh yeah, we can still partner with them. We just don't, and I'm not trying to be, we just don't need their permission. That's all I'm saying.
And surfacing the road, that's Wayne County?
That's
That-
Wayne County
It's Wayne
Road.
County.
Yep,
Okay.
it's all Wayne County.
Now, is Wayne County paying for that?
In this
That'd be no.
proposal, no, we
That'd be a
would
no.
ask them for assistance, but we have not planned for their participation in the budget.
They will not help us with this, so we have to do it. I mean, we've got to do it for our, the way we looked at it. We have to do it for our citizens.
Oh, I completely
Yeah.
align to that. I'm concerned with the fact that they're not, again, paying for something that is their property.
They
that
have no
should be.
funding, of course, no funding, no money, no help. It's just, that's the way it is. So we have to go ahead and go through it, especially making, as Miss Ann stated, changing the number of lanes there, and Patrick referred to it, but that was a big help to us when we get the lanes squared around and 4 full lanes leaving that toll booth. 2 coming, 2 going. Instead of, we got, 2 on one side, kind of, and 1.5, and actually only 1 lane the other way. So this is
Yeah.
gonna be a big,
So I can be pragmatic with you on this one, but I know you wanted to do some of this work before or during actually that last closure so that you could accommodate residents, and I believe they told you no. Is that correct?
no, we had to go through, Grosse Ile was going to do it,
Right?
but we had to go through the paperwork from Wayne County, and it would take so long that this is the only way we can get it done now.
During this time?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
during the closure.
So, and actually,
Yeah.
the design for these road improvements actually started about the time the last closure took place. So Clark Dietz, who is a subcontractor to H&H, who was brought in to do the design of the roadway there, they actually were in place during the last closure. They actually did observations, they did traffic counts, to make sure that, they saw firsthand what the traffic concerns were, during an actual, Wayne County bridge closure. So the engineering for that, to the supervisor's point, has been going on for probably close to 8 months now or so. Which is one of the things that the county wanted. They wanted the engineering completed before they were gonna sign off on any work to be done. So it wasn't possible just because of that requirement.
You can tell it was done professionally. I was wondering who did it. They did a nice job in the layout.
Yeah, and
People
Clark
make
and
a big
Dietz also
difference.
did computer simulation of traffic buildup. So they developed how long the queues would be, how long the lines would be waiting, and then we
Yep.
came up with the best solution based on their analysis.
Yeah, it's gonna make a big difference.
I've got a question a little bit related to this. Do we have any reasonably accurate measure of how long our bridge will be down for construction of it will not be passable, is what I'm saying. You have engineering and you have, that's part of the construction, you have maybe waiting for steel or whatever, but how long will it take from the time we close the bridge to when we can open it again? Is there any estimate you might know how long that'll be?
We're looking at 24-month projected construction, but closure time,
The construction guys at Artisane in Hanover actually took a pretty close look at this project and came up with their own construction sequence and schedule. And I think it came down to about a 19-month closure. In the first 5 months of the project, we figure the bridge is open and the contractor's just trying to get all of his material and everything together. So
Does the Parkway Bridge have the stamina to go that long without going down itself?
the Parkway Bridge,
Yeah, the county bridge.
yeah. The county bridge, H&H actually did some repair plans for the county bridge. We did some for the superstructure, and another firm did some substructure and fender island repairs. Right now, the county doesn't really have any money to do those repairs. I don't think that, they might be trying to use the funding they have to do the substructure repairs.
Having the money is one thing. I'm concerned with, will we,
You're concerned if the projects overlap?
exactly.
exactly, right. Now Derek and Joe have actually been talking to Wayne County
Yeah, so
and trying to coordinate so that they don't start until we're done. Yeah.
So the county is aware of our project, they're aware of our time frame. They're aware of our proposed schedule. I know that they had moved up the inspection that they did a couple of weeks ago with the information that they had about our project and when the proposed starting time was, so that anything that came out of that inspection, they could react to repair before our bridge is closed for construction.
Which would extend the, like, thank you.
Right, so I think that
Follow you.
they were having those inspectors look at it to say, okay, is there anything in the next 24 to 28 months that could be of issue here that we should probably take care of before, the toll bridge goes down? That's not to say that an emergency might not crop up during that period of time, because it's an old bridge and things do happen, but anything that they could,
Reasonably foresee.
see now and fix now, I think that's their priority. There's been a lot of talk about the speed bumps. And part of the reason that we were given by the county was that, knowing that we have this project, they're trying to minimize impact to their bridge to, as you had mentioned, go the distance, get it to have enough longevity to get beyond when our bridge reopens. So they do understand when our project's going to take place. They do understand the severity of, the importance of their bridge remaining open during our construction project. And they're, I think, doing their due diligence to do their best to make sure theirs stays open during that, that construction period. I can't offer anything other than that. That's been the conversations we've had with them. As Ann had mentioned, that bridge is old. There's a variety of different work that needs to be done to it. Our understanding is none of that significant work is going to be possible until, our bridge, before our bridge starts. But I think anything that they would do to theirs is to fix, some things, to get it beyond, not any huge structural repairs unless, something crops up, where they have the money available and, it's needed right now. So I guess that's all I have to offer, Mr. Supervisor. I don't know if you have anything else.
Thank you.
No, I'm very confident, though, that, let me back up one second. That's the reason, I know these speed humps have really upset people, bothered them. They're not happy with them, but it's all about longevity. And you guys, as engineers sitting there in the audience, know what's the most important thing they could do to that bridge is keep it going just like it is until we're done.
Right.
And then they can do there. And Ann brings up a great point. They still don't have full funding to do what they want to do. So,
When I spoke to Wayne County, when we handed in our repair plans for the superstructure, they had around $20 million, which was not enough to
Right.
do the substructure work and the superstructure work that they wanted
Right,
to
right.
do. And I don't think they've gotten any more funding.
No, they
I mean,
haven't.
I'm sure they're trying to.
no, they are, but they haven't yet. You're correct.
Yeah.
So, but that's where we're at right now. Patrick, why don't you finish up, and then if we have any other questions,
Sure.
I think this shows the people exactly what we're doing. It's an excellent plan, not only with the roadway. Derek and I have tried, and I'm just gonna say, we were just gonna do it on our own, but that probably wasn't a good idea. And so we kind of patched it up the road a little bit and got some help and made it last a little bit. But this is
Sure.
excellent. But go ahead, finish up, and then we'll go from there.
So if you're looking, our goal is to minimize the bridge closure as much as practical. Don't close the bridge till we're really ready to start working on it. We don't want to be one of these highway jobs where the first thing you do is you put out barrels and you close the road, and 4 months later, you see people working on it. We don't want to do that. That's not what we want to do. And we're going to be looking all the time at ways to shorten that up. And one of them is the bidding process here. We're getting price bidding, but we're also getting schedules. And so a contractor comes in with a shorter schedule might be much more advantageous to us. If you look down, certainly for convenience to the public, but also we have roughly $380,000 worth of revenue per month that comes across that bridge. So we can afford to spend a little more. If we're done earlier, we may be dollars ahead. So all of that comes in. So we want to keep it as short as we possibly can being closed. Yeah. And of course, down the bottom, staying under the budget. That's where we're at.
Will you have any fees at risk if they don't meet the timing? Will there be significant fees at risk if they don't meet the timing?
What have we got in the contract? Anything on that if they don't meet the timing?
Oh, you mean like a liquidated damages? Well, yeah, yes. I mean, we've been talking with the commission about, you know, how much a day, how much a month, that sort of thing. So, yeah, they can't just give us a schedule and then
Walk
disregard
away from it.
Yes, right.
Or
Well,
not be held
an
to it.
important point to note there, the fact is that if we're clear after all expenses are paid at $385,000 income, there's payroll, there's utilities and other things that would be ongoing even if it was closed down. We would be losing more than $385 a month if it went down.
Well,
Yeah.
and just keep in mind, that's gross.
That's gross, not net. Yeah.
Oh,
That's full, that's
Now,
just
when
what
it's
comes
closed, we won't have the employees. So
in. Right,
the net is, you know, not quite the same.
right.
But we do have operating costs and certain things that we have to do, certainly, yeah.
Right.
So,
So I have a couple questions.
yes,
There have been a lot of people asking this, so I'm just gonna ask for them. Easy Pass, something different than our typical, our bridge pass, if you will. So I know anybody that's gone out east has probably dealt with Easy Pass. I'm sure it's all over the place, but I think I know the answer to this, but I want other people to understand if we are going to that or why we're not going to use something like that.
that becomes an operational issue, and we've kicked that idea around a little bit when we were doing that. One of the things we, at least for the moment, we're thinking we keep it the way it is because Easy Pass is not free for us.
Right.
There's a portion of the revenue that we lose doing that. And there's a timing. We may not get it right away either. So for our own revenue basis, we're better doing that. We talked about maybe license plate readers and all of that, but all of those have a funding. They take 10, 15, 20% of your revenue away to handle all that for you. And so it's not out of the question to do that. But right now, our thought was, we're financially better off to keep doing it ourselves, and we are able to handle it.
I think you also get into a bill collection type situation too, where I know I've kind of looked into Easy Pass a little bit, and I think that might be a significant thing too. But I
Yes.
appreciate what you just explained, because I think that upon the bill collection,
Yeah.
that, you know, kind of helps people understand a little better.
Couple other things too. It's not just the percentage that's taken, it's also the cost to change the system over to that is fairly significant. And then also, we're still required to maintain staff at the bridge, even if we did have an automated system, because we have to have an operator there. You see the light on above the top of the free bridge, you know, during shipping seasons. There's an operator there that they have to have on call, or not on call, but on staff there 24/7. We would still have to do that because it's a movable bridge. So
Right.
it wouldn't completely eliminate your personnel costs. And we're usually running between 2 and 3 people per shift. So you wouldn't, I mean, you've only got sometimes 1, maybe 2 other employees taking tolls versus the 1 person you would have to have already. So.
Okay. And then my last question is probably more engineering oriented, but you had mentioned traffic gates versus resistant gates.
Yeah. Yeah, for a bridge like a swing bridge or a swing bridge or a vertical lift bridge where a car could just like go right
Right.
into the drink.
Right.
Yeah, you're supposed to have 2 sets of gates. A traffic gate, which is kind of what you have
Stopping
out
you,
there right
yeah.
now. And a resistance gate, which is a much more robust
Right.
gate and designed for specific forces.
Now, is that a requirement or is it?
It's an ASHTO requirement, yeah, for, certainly if you're doing a major rehabilitation.
So is
on
it
a
only
bridge.
to do with, so let's say we now are gonna have a rehab, but we wouldn't do that before a rehab, or they're not, I should say, they're not required.
I don't think you would feel obligated to do it before you're doing other significant work on the bridge.
I'm thinking the county bridge, because that only has, to your point, the
Well,
traffic
yeah,
gate.
as I said, H&H did the superstructure
Right.
contract for that one, and we included resistance gates.
I
on that
figured
one,
you
too.
had, as soon as you said it, it sounds like
Yeah.
a safety thing, and I was just curious what triggered the requirement, and is the requirement triggered if you're changing something?
Yeah.
So right now, they're grandfathered
If
in,
you're
is what I'm getting
changing
at.
it, you kind of have to bring that
Got
part of the project up to code.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you know, this is still a narrow bridge, but so is the Parkway. and there's no way to widen this existing bridge. So you don't have to meet, the current lane widths or something, but for a safety item like that, yeah,
Okay.
we had no choice.
Oh, I
Yeah.
agree with that. I was just,
You were
Trying to-
thinking about the Parkway Bridge,
Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks.
And before you sit down, before you sit down,
Yeah.
sorry, I tried to grab you earlier. You were talking about the weight capacity on the toll bridge being better than Parkway.
Yeah, the Parkway Bridge, I think I noticed the Parkway Bridge is a 40-ton truck,
You said that.
if I saw that correctly. We're doing this for what's called an HS-25 loading, which is a 45-ton vehicle.
And after the other bridge is fixed,
You mean after the other bridge is fixed?
when they're both fixed?
Oh, yeah, when the other bridge, at least our design was an HS-25 for that one, too.
So they'll
Yeah.
be equivalent?
Yeah,
Okay.
but right now, it doesn't meet HS-25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then one last.
Oh, and the HS-25, I think I should point out that that's a Michigan DOT requirement for rehabilitation. That's their standard live load
Oh, is
for
it?
a rehabilitation project, HS-25, yeah.
Okay. And then, just one last comment. Since, I'm sure you've heard of Swan Island, our bridge, and what happened there, and just what a great job these guys are doing, and when they get past this bridge and they're bored, I still think that they should work with Wayne County on the other bridges on the island, and I think they would do a fabulous job coordinating those other bridges. So, just a thought, you just nod your head yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I will say that I think Wayne County is about to start a study to determine what they're really going to do with that Parkway Bridge over the long term, whether they're going to eventually replace it or whether they're going to do a much more substantial rehab or.
They've already started, they said.
But I mean all our other bridges too, we have a lot of
Oh,
smaller
your
bridges.
bridges out
Yeah,
here.
a lot
Oh,
of smaller
yeah.
bridges.
Yeah, yeah.
We were talking about.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so we just found out another one has a lot lower capacity than we thought, and it's the only way that the people on
Oh,
Swan
yeah.
Island
I mean,
can
I have
get
no
there.
idea what the capacity of those little bridges here on the island are.
Not much right now.
But
Yeah.
I know you want to be able to bring trucks over
Yeah.
the toll
Yeah.
bridge when
And I
it's done.
think these guys are gonna be bored when they resolve the toll bridge.
Oh, I think they'll be really busy. I think they're gonna be very busy
Once
until,
they get this one done.
We're all gonna
they're
be
gonna
go-
be looking for stuff
Yeah.
to do.
We might be, we might be. Did you have a question, Bill?
Yes. That free bridge and the what, do we replace it or repair it is the question. That's a time-consuming project. How long do you think something like that would realistically take if we decide to replace it?
Oh,
We don't make that decision.
Well,
I wish I had not used it.
the type of study that they're going to be doing has to look at options including fixed, higher span fixed
Right.
bridges.
So it's a
And
big deal, is it?
it's a big deal.
How long does that big
That's,
deal?
well, the study's only supposed to be something like a year and a half, I think. If that, I don't quite remember, but I think it was about that. But to actually replace that bridge and get a new bridge designed, yeah, that would, they're probably looking 10 years down the line or
There's utility
something.
lines under the water right by there too, I believe.
Yeah.
Certainly, that'd be part of it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to look at, there's some constraints there, right? Like I-75 is going to be kind of a constraint for a high-span bridge, I think, and just the idea of all of these neighborhoods that it would be going through. No one who owns a movable bridge, I have to say, is crazy about owning it, because you have to maintain it and everything. But sometimes it's the only thing that works geometrically.
There's a thought that comes to mind about that, it's because of you, Chris, but would we have the option, if we ever decided to replace this bridge, to find a way to get this Trenton Channel to be cleared,
If you had
no
to
longer economically a viable deal,
Yeah,
it would save all that payroll to keep a bridge operator there for boats that really don't need it. Now, we'd have some sailboat guys with a tall mast or.
yeah. If you didn't want to have a movable bridge there and a high level fixed is probably not really realistic, you'd have to get the Coast Guard to decommission the Trenton Channel, which can take a long, long time.
That's,
It would save a lot of money.
That's
I
close
would
to
think, over the
impossible
years.
in
Yeah,
They've
that-
already-
in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I've known of it happening, but
That's
it's
not
really, really rare.
really in the
If
cards.
you happen to own a sailboat and you're between, you might
Yeah.
be one of those that object, certainly, yeah.
Yes,
But those
All
are
right.
excellent points. High-level bridge, you get over the island, you're 30 feet off the ground, how do you get back down?
Yeah.
That's, the-
Right, by the time you come back down, you're off the island
how
again.
does I-75 impact this? I just realized I had you were mentioning I-75 and a big, how does it?
Well, I-75, doesn't I-75 go kind of north-south, somewhat farther
It's quite
west?
West
ways
of here.
over, though.
It's
But
west of here, but
still,
it's,
if you have to
That's-
hit a really high vertical clearance, like say you had to hit 100 feet or 125 feet above the channel to let all traffic go through, you'd be heading back pretty far at a reasonable slope.
the higher west, what she's saying, Bill, is the higher straight up you go,
The
the
more
higher
west
west you're
you-
gonna
Yeah,
have to go.
the further west and the
I
further
got it.
east you have
Yeah.
to go just to
Yeah,
bring the
you're
bridge
gonna have-
down again.
It's all in a
That's what I mean.
ratio.
Reach was
Yeah.
that long, never thought about it, but
Yeah.
you got a point.
the design slope is probably a maximum 2 or 3 degrees, maybe.
Well, percent, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you could
2 or
go higher,
3%,
but,
rather.
but no one wants to go over one of those really high, steep bridges. It's scary for people, I think.
All right.
So-
Patrick,
Yeah.
let's finish up this, and then we'll have
Okay.
some other questions.
Any other questions?
A couple questions. What's the approximate percentage of the toll bridge is original? Do we know
Oh, of the
that?
current toll bridge?
Yeah,
Well, the trusses are original. Most of the many of the floor beams are original. Span 3, which is the first approach span, the first one east of the swing span, that one was that one was replaced in like 1992 or something. like
Twice,
that. It was
actually.
replaced twice, yeah,
Yeah,
but most
so
recently in
everything else is pretty much original.
92. The deck is not original.
what would be the percentage, would you guess?
Percentage of steel, like percentage of steel, I mean, at a guess, I would say maybe 30% is not original steel. And of the machinery, I think that rack and pinion was replaced once, but that's about all. None of the shafting, none of the couplings, all of that stuff. That was not replaced. The electrical stuff has been replaced because, I mean, 1913 till now.
Right. What will the percentage,
Of the new bridge,
With the new
of the
bridge alone.
rehabbed bridge, well, we're replacing all of the stringers, we're replacing all of the deck, all of the lateral bracing, below deck lateral bracing is being replaced. Again, the trusses are not being replaced, they have a lot of capacity.
so as a percentage,
As a percentage, I'd say, in terms of weight, maybe we're replacing about, 35-40%.
so how much of
Of
it
the
will be
steel.
new? The
So that'll
total,
be new.
Yeah.
that'll
so
be new.
35% of the bridge?
Yeah, I
Once
would
it's
say,
complete.
because, the stringers and the lateral bracing are fairly light members. But we're also adding a lot of steel to existing floor beams that we're keeping. And at the pivot pier, where it actually spins, we're replacing like all of that steel.
Pardon me a moment.
Will there be any work done to the causeway?
No,
Okay.
no, only the Bridge Road approach.
And we do have some riprap being done.
There's some, some slope stabilization, but no roadway replacement east of the bridge.
Pardon me, you're talking about weight. 35% of the bridge in terms of weight is replaced. It seemed I read somewhere that the modern steel being used here in some part of the project, it weighs less and it's stronger. What I'm getting at is that while you're taking 35,000 or whatever pounds of steel out, a smaller amount is replaced, but it's better, high quality, stronger. Am I making any sense?
Well, if you're asking about the strength of the steel,
Well, they were talking about the weight. How much weight is a proportion of everything was there and what was going on? And I'm
Yeah,
saying we've
well,
got
we're
new
putting-
stuff that
we're
weighs less
putting
but
in-
stronger.
We're putting in a weight that's similar to what is there now.
Okay.
Right, for the weight of steel. But yeah, our steel is, you know, the strength that's used nowadays is like 50 KSI, 50,000 pounds a square inch for, you know, say in tension or in bending. That's a lot stronger than the steel that was there originally.
That
So while the
original
weight
might
might
have
be
been
the
30,
same, the
That was
33.
about 30,
Yeah.
33, yeah.
So while the weight might be the same, the strength's a lot
Oh,
higher.
yeah, it's
That was what I was
becoming
looking for.
much
Yeah.
stronger. That's why the load rating is going up significantly.
Thank you.
One other
Same
question,
thing with the, you know, the repairs that we're making to the floor beams, a lot stronger than the original steel that was there.
on the toll booth, do we know what currently, how many vehicles can go through per hour in the toll booth that we currently have? And how many vehicles would be able to go through,
All of them
once all of
together.
once that's
Oh.
complete?
I don't have that number
I don't
handy,
know.
but that was part of the simulation
But
that was
I-
done.
We could find
That
that
Clark
out
and Dietz
from
was
our,
saying,
uh,
before we
highway consultant.
finalized our design. And it was a dramatic reduction in the backup, especially during free bridge closure time.
The other question is, the bonds are 30-year bonds. So once the life expectancy you're saying is 30 to 35 years, will we have to consider major improvements in 35 years? Is that something the
Yeah,
township should
that's
plan
hard
on?
to say. I mean, I know that the township plans to have a vendor to provide maintenance for
Mhm.
this bridge. And there've certainly been bridges that lasted more than 130 years or something, but they have to be really well maintained. I mean, this bridge has lasted, what, 110 or so, and has been kind of,
Hasn't been top-notch
yeah,
maintenance.
you know.
He's maintained
in
it,
recent
but-
year- It's been maintained, but the load rating has consistently gone down and, you know, it's been patched up as needed to keep going. You know, in 30 years, if this bridge is kept painted, right, I would say you probably replace the electrical stuff again, and you probably replace some of the hydraulic equipment, like all the hoses and valves and all that kind of stuff. The deck itself should have a 50-year life, and the stringers below the deck should have a 50-year life. It's kind of hard to say because it's all maintenance related.
Somebody asked the question, resident, is there technology that would, the salt seems to do a job on?
Yeah, salt
Is there
bad.
technology that is out there that we could limit the amount of salt that we use, or?
You know, we do a lot of movable bridges with open grid decks, like yours, on your swing span. Your approach spans have a filled grid, that's not an open grid. And there's always that question, how do we deal with the salts? Because all the northeastern and north midwestern states have it. I don't actually know of like anything really high-tech about that. It's we're using what Michigan DOT, this project is being designed in accordance with Michigan DOT specs. Michigan DOT uses a 3-component paint system on their steel, and that's what we're using too. And it's considered to be, you know, the best paint system. I have known projects where they galvanized and painted. And on our stringers, actually, I think we are galvanizing and painting. I'll have to check that. So that's kind of what we try to do to minimize the damage that salt does over time.
My last question is more, I don't know, it's probably to Supervisor and Derek. We had talked about possibly being able to go out for federal money to help with this? Is that still possible?
Probably not federal money, but state money. The problem with the federal money is, if we were going to receive federal money, we would have had to design this to accommodate federal requirements like Davis-Bacon. We'd have to bid it, knowing that we had federal money that was part of it. And because there isn't any federal money available right now, and we're going to bid now, it would be very difficult for us to pivot. We did put in a request at the state level for funding with our state rep. I haven't got an answer on that yet.
I'll get that this week.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
$5
we are
million.
proposing that, we're attempting to receive additional funding, yes.
Right.
But we have to be careful about the type and the source, so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Actually, I have one. It's probably more directed toward you or the manager.
Go ahead.
In the event ours is shut down and Wayne County has some kind of catastrophic closure,
Yes.
okay, how many days out are we from getting an emergency bridge or something set up for people to transverse back and forth between Grosse Ile and mainland?
Well, we're about 30 minutes out from me contacting the people I need to contact. So how close and how quick can they get down here? They were down here once already, and that's when we wrote the emergency operations plan together, Derek and I, if both bridges go down. But,
You tell them like 2 days?
no,
There's no scenario.
nothing's gonna be moving on Grosse Ile for a week, I promise you.
Yeah, there's no scenario where federal state authorities bring in a float bridge and let regular people drive their cars across the river. It's
No.
not gonna happen.
No.
You're gonna have to pick a side and stay there.
It's gonna be a mess for a while. We'll be safe, we'll get the necessities here, but that's,
Okay, and as far as
that
any
would
kind
be a nightmare.
medical type stuff, we use the airport.
Medical
helicopters.
type stuff, we even,
Okay.
Yeah, you'd use a relay.
we have, and that won't be, that's not, we can do that. I don't want people to get anxiety thinking you can't, yes. That's taken care of. It's the individuals going to work and things like that, so.
Of course, that's another factor that we're trying to keep the closure as short as possible to keep the risk down.
And that's exactly why the county, and I'll reiterate, I know people don't like this, I get it, I don't like it either going over those bumps, but they're doing everything they can for longevity for their bridge, because they can't give me a guarantee, but they're gonna work with us and not start anything till we're done. And how do you get it to that point, is to make sure their bridge keeps working. And that's the point, so. Anything else for either of them? We're good?
Okay, well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you for your time.
We appreciate your trust.
And thank you for coming out. Thank you very much.
All right, have a
Patrick,
great
thank you for
evening.
the information.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for being on the committee and all you do and.
That was very
for
good.
everything You're doing as well. Yeah, Thank you.
All right, next would be, Scott, can you hear me? I know you wanted a public comment. You were just waiting out there. Next is public comment. What we're gonna do is, anybody that wants to come up, remember you get 3 minutes and give your name, your address, please, for the record. It doesn't have to be on any agenda item, it can be on anything. And we also have one at the end, but this one still can be on anything. I know Scott, you wanted to come up?
Anyone first?
Is anybody, no, go ahead. No, just go ahead, give us your name and address and get you going here. Hold on a minute. There, Scott, I'll be straight with you. There was a question about time. Is that correct? About,
Scott Aston, Columbine Court. My presentation regarding short-term rentals, speaking clearly, is 3 minutes and 20 seconds long.
you want to go over 3 minutes? I'm going to give you, how about we'll give you till 4? Is that
Thank-
fair?
Thank you.
All right, is that fair? Go ahead. You start and I'll start.
I don't know what's going on within this township. I've been here 52 years and have never seen the animosity this bad. We all need to live together. Remember that. The short-term rental resolution presented to this board, action item number 2 tonight, contains a number of inaccuracies bordering on malicious falsehood. Look that phrase up for those of you who do not know what that means. It also makes exaggerated statements regarding the current status of short-term rentals within our township. Should the board approve this resolution, you will be misleading township property owners with respect to their private property rights. I'm asking that Trustee Bartlett recuse herself from voting on this resolution and any future short-term rental resolutions due to the appearance of bias related to this issue, as her neighbor has on occasion rented their studio on a short-term basis. Thus, her ability to remain impartial with respect to this issue is of concern. Our township deserves transparency and impartiality from our elected officials. This helps maintain public trust and ensures fair decision-making in the execution of your duties. Here's where the township is on the short-term rental issue. On May 7th of this year, 2026, Appellate Judge Muriel Hughes issued her decision in Groziel v. Scott Aston, Wayne County Circuit Court Case Number 25-018-767-AV, Alex Victor, reversing the guilty judgment issued in my 33rd District Court case, case number 25I-82573-ON, N as in Nancy, thereby invalidating the township zoning ordinance violation citation issued to me. In reversing and vacating the district court judgment, Appellate Judge Hughes held that the township zoning ordinance defines dwelling unit to include temporary and transient occupancy, and the permitted principal use in single-family districts is single-family detached dwelling units without a durational time limit. She added that pursuant to the 2020 Ream decision, Michigan Supreme Court docket number 159874, and the township's rules of construction, courts must apply the township zoning ordinance definitions as written and may not import a durational time prohibition. In addition, Appellate Judge Hughes also reviewed the decision in Groziel Township v. Isaac Akana, Wayne County Circuit Court Case 2020-015-495-CZ, Cat Zebra. Most residents know this case as the South Point VRBO. The township brief in the South Point case is a good read. Appellate Judge Hughes found this case to be inapplicable. If you want to know why, read my brief in my Circuit Court Case footnote 4. This board also should read the decision in the case identified in the proposed resolution before you. It's Michigan Supreme Court Case docket number 166228. It's easier to find by using the docket number. Most people refer to this case as Swift Estates or Shanty Creek, and it will help this board's delegates in the development of a short-term rental ordinance, but not for the reasons advanced by our township attorneys. I'm available to the board if you need assistance in drafting a short-term rental policy that is fair to everyone within our community. I'm apparently more versed in this subject than our township attorneys and advisors, and this board should only request their continued input if they can be impartial. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else, anybody want to come up? We good? All right, thank you.
Oh, I've got some, Joe.
And I'm sorry, how many you have?
3.
Go ahead, sir.
All right. First one, Clarice Graham Rucker. This evening, while on a daily walk on Macomb, I tripped and fell over. The sidewalk is so bumpy and uneven. I was thanking God my grandchildren weren't with me, as it could have been a catastrophe mess. When I was able to get myself back up, I noticed how the majority of Macomb Street looks quite disheveled. Weeds and tree branches overgrown. Our downtown should be somewhere safe. The e-bike riders also make walking quite troublesome, and it's not just kids who go rocking around. I've seen some adults ride poorly too. This needs to be addressed. My son told me someone recently died on an e-bike nearby. Also, the sidewalk is uneven up and down the street. I am begging you, please fix this before someone gets seriously injured. All right, next one, Mary Bresnahan, Bellevue. At the last township meeting, I sent in a comment about the police millage language. It was in regard to the DDA and Brownfield Authority mentioned in the 2024 police millage ballot, but not on the police millage ballot for August 4th, 2026. My findings were concerning. I wanted to thank Supervisor Porcerelli for his understanding and time to try to explain the discrepancy. I appreciated his attention to my concern. I also greatly agreed with Bill Heil that the lack of consistency in our ballot language can be more confusing. He stated that that if something is confusing at the beginning, then once it continues, it will be more acceptable. I agree with him 100%. The confusion began with the 2024 police millage because it was never there before that time on any millage. Once residents are educated on this matter, then they will understand the legality of the matter. It was also concerning that Mickey stated that it will still be on some of the millages. Bill Howell replied that it is correct one day and not another day. Mickey stated that that is just one of the things. It is correct either way. So I was viewing the meeting at home and couldn't believe that language on a police millage ballot in 2024 was not important anymore. It was removed due to resident confusion. I was quite disturbed about it and wanted to reply to the township board before the meeting ended. I quickly typed up my concern, gave it a quick read, and sent it. Unfortunately, in my last line, I had made a mistake and didn't realize it until after it was read by Brian Friel. I meant to say that the ballot language is not in compliance with state law, and why the lawyer said it was is not understandable. Sorry for the confusion in my last statement. I talked to Brian Friel the next day, and he was going to forward an email to the board members with my correction. Although there was a lapse in time for meetings, I wanted to make my correction known to the community. I am still concerned about the legal contradictory ballot language between the August 6, 2024 police millage and the August 4th, 2026 police millage. It doesn't make sense that it is important on one document, but on not another of the same nature. I think it causes more confusion and suspicion about the inconsistency. If the DDA and Brownfield Authority capture funds through certain millages, then it should be consistently stated for understanding and transparency. All right, one more.
Can I ask you a question, Brian?
Uh-oh. Sure.
Yeah. Do you have a phone number for Ms. Bresnahan?
I do not. I'm sure I could get one, though.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
I'd like to give her a call tomorrow. I think we got this squared away. I'd just like to speak to her.
Okay. No problem.
Okay?
All right.
Thank
and
you.
my last one, Christine Gilliam, Meridian. I've lived on the island for 16 years. I've raised my children here. I have no interest in our town turning into a place where any developer or person will buy up available real estate to create short-term rental businesses. I do believe there is a need for some short-term options on the island, and the good news is they already exist. Myself and many others have existing ADUs. We have rented them to friends, family, neighbors, etc. with zero issues. We live here. We are always on site when people are staying with us. This is different than the party house on Chatham. There needs to be a discussion regarding existing spaces and how to expand on their allowed uses to benefit GI. We should be happy to apply for this privilege without fear of being targeted by board members. I don't believe these handful of short-term rentals will have a negative effect on the island, nor will they affect school enrollment, decrease population, or add an unusual amount of traffic and noise. These are fear tactics being used towards our residents. These are existing units with their own driveway and entrances. I support allowing existing ADUs with the owners living on site to be short-term rentals. And
All
that
set?
is all I got.
All right, thank you very much. No one else, I'm assuming? Okay. Kevin, do you want to do that?
The consent agenda, I move that the Township Board approve consent agenda 26-043. Thank you, and seconded.
A second.
Thank you. It consists of the minutes of the June 22nd, 2026 regular meeting, the check and invoice register dated through July 10th, 2026, accepting 33rd District Court 2025 financial report, and the MML Workers' Compensation Fund Board of Trustees election, voting for those candidates. And that is everything on the consent agenda.
Okay, so for consent agenda 26-043, I had a question. Let me hold on one second, Kevin. Okay, is there any other questions, though, on this consent agenda? Okay, consent agenda, I apologize. Consent agenda 26-043, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried, thank you. All right, action items. Margaret, you have the first one, ordinance addition to minors.
Yes. recommend the Township Board approval on ordinance addition to minors ordinance, Chapter 155, to add a new Article 4 entitled Mandatory School Attendance Truancy.
Second.
Upon the recommendation of the Groseal Police Commission at the meeting on June 16th, 2026, we asked the Township Board approval on ordinance addition to minors, Chapter 155, to add a new Article 4 entitled Mandatory School Attendance Truancy. The implementation schedule would be immediately, there's no financial impact, and this is updated with a recommendation from the Township Attorney. So I don't know if there's any questions.
Anything from the board?
Was this drafted through the planning commission or by the township attorney?
No, this was,
And then-
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Margaret.
Well, no, I'm not understanding. Why would it be drafted by the planning?
I'm just curious where it was generated.
It was the police department, police commission, and our township attorney.
Okay.
All this does.
So,
ahead, Margaret.
yeah, I mean, no,
I
and
jumped in
that's,
again.
you're okay, Joe, that's fine. So the ordinance is simplifying things for parents, as well as the school and the police department. So rather than going through Wayne County, they can now go through the 33rd District versus Wayne County. The other thing to point out is that this new ordinance places the violation on the parent versus the student. So it allows a better opportunity for addressing the issue and getting the situation resolved. You know, they have a conversation with the school, they're in alignment with this. We're saving money doing it this way versus with Wayne County. The parents don't have to go downtown, which, some people might not think that's a big deal. It is a big deal to people, your drive and your gas money. Cases like homeschooling are easily managed, addressed, versus currently, they don't always get as quickly addressed as they should. It's, when somebody proves that they're doing homeschooling, we can take care of it much quicker than Wayne County does. So it's a cost save, it's a win-win for the parents and the student as well as the school district.
And if I could just add, Margaret,
Sure.
just by experience, when I was the police chief, we may had a case where somebody wasn't coming to school, and we'd do a JCO1 on them to the county. It'd be 4 or 5 months before you'd get anything. This way, within probably 3 weeks to a month, it can be adjudicated, handled, and addressed and resolved. And that's a big difference.
It's huge.
So nothing against Wayne County. I mean, they've got 10,000 kids themselves
Right.
that aren't going to school. So, we're not up high on the priority list, nor is a JCO1 high on the priority list, so.
So this is similar to our DUI ordinance where we're able to charge them under township law as opposed to county or state.
33rd District Court, correct, instead of the.
So then my other question is, prior to COVID, students could only miss a certain number of days a year before they had to start making them up. A certain number of hours, I should say, actually a year, before they had to start making them up in detention. Because you had to have a certain number of hours in the school. I don't believe that's a rule anymore.
I couldn't tell you on that.
So this mostly just covers extreme absences or children just hanging out in the park when they're supposed to be in school, right?
But many absences, there's a limit. There's a limit you can have, and then they call the police department and say, I think we got an issue here. Can we do something about this? On your end, we're trying to do it on our end.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Anything else for Margaret, though? And Margaret, I'm sorry I jumped in, and I apologize just because.
You
I've
have
got
expertise,
experience.
yeah, and
That's all.
I know, I totally align.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, action item number 1, ordinance addition to minors, chapter 155. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carried, thank you. Moratorium on the creation of a new short-term rental. Let me pull that up. I'll take that one. Sean is here also if there's any, other questions. Groseal recommends Township Board approve certified resolution adopting a 6-month moratorium on short-term rentals. I need a second.
Second?
The proposed 6-month moratorium is intended to temporarily prohibit the establishment of now just make sure you understand this, new short-term rentals while the Community Development Department, in coordination with the township attorney reviews existing ordinances, evaluates best practices in other Michigan communities, and prepares recommendations for board consideration. Existing enforcement concerns, including complaints regarding noise, parking, property maintenance, and unpermitted construction associated with short-term rental conversions, further support the need for a comprehensive review. The moratorium is not intended to serve as a permanent prohibition on short-term rentals. Rather, it provides the township with sufficient time to develop regulations. Now, let me just explain a little further on this if you have questions. Derek and I, we had a meeting. Sean, you were with us, weren't you?
Yes.
Today? We had a meeting with our township attorney. The questions that came to me were, is it for everybody, the moratorium? Is it business as usual for those who already have one? Can you not get a permit for one now? The case law on this, and it's gone all the way up to the Supreme Court.
The state Supreme Court.
What's that?
The state Supreme Court, correct? Joe?
Yeah, not United States, correct. The state Supreme Court. But there is case law all the way up to the top in Michigan. It is valid, it is legal for a city to hit the pause button for a moratorium. Now, the people that have something going on right now can do business as usual. That was clear. Anybody else, they come to your department, right, to get a permit tomorrow, and they can't get one if we vote yes on the moratorium.
Yeah, so we currently don't have any permitting processes for short-term rentals. They were, a 33rd District Court decision said that they were prohibited in Groseal, and that was overturned in May, as Scott Aston had said. So this gives us an opportunity to develop regulations around short-term rentals where we don't currently have any. Current short-term rentals that are operating would be allowed to continue operating, but it would put a moratorium on new ones, and then once we have regulations, it's not like the existing ones would be grandfathered in, but once the new regulations are established, then they would have to apply for a permit.
But didn't we, so we shut down all the short-term rentals, right, with our previous ordinance. So the only people that could be operating right now is Scott Aston or anybody who previously operated illegally. So we're kind of creating a scenario where we are preventing the people we previously prohibited from having short-term rentals and continuing to prohibit them with this moratorium, are we not?
No, but go ahead if you want to
So
answer.
if I had a short-term rental like a year ago and Groseal Township told me, hey, you can't have that, and I shut it down, right? That means I'm not currently operating a short-term rental.
That case, I'm not going to get into it because obviously I know Scott was here and he was very much a gentleman explaining his views, and that's what this is about. You know, your First Amendment right and give your views, and that's a beautiful thing. But there's a question, does it just concern his only? No. But there's a question of, it was the ordinance that had a sentence in it that the judge wasn't happy with the definition of what that sentence was. So the question now, Jameson, is if you don't have one as of this, whatever date this came out, Groseal has the ability to keep you from having one. I don't care if you had one a year ago and it wasn't there now. If it's not there now, then her opinion, and we must go by our attorney's opinion, and the court cases that came out of these on a moratorium itself, says that it is valid, it's legal. Everyone that has one right now doing business as usual will continue.
I think that's kind of unfair because we essentially passed an illegal ordinance, right?
Well,
One
no,
that-
not really illegal. It wasn't illegal. The verbiage was not,
Appropriate.
So the previous board passed an ordinance prohibiting short-term rentals.
Not necessarily. The ordinance, our zoning ordinance says what an allowed usage for a property within an R1 district is. That did not include short-term rentals under numerous interpretations of that ordinance or that zoning at the 33rd District Court. So we've never lost at 33rd District Court
Right.
as it relates to the interpretation of what is allowed and that not being short-term rentals. it wasn't until it went to the appellate court or was challenged on appeal that a different judge interpreted the ordinance differently and said, okay, well, my opinion is the verbiage isn't clear that it prohibits that. So it didn't have anything to do with the adoption of an ordinance that was specific for
Well,
prohibiting
we did
short-term
though.
rentals.
We did have a specific board action. I remember voting on it to prohibit short-term rentals.
I don't recall that.
Yeah, I mean.
It's always been about the interpretation of the R1 zoning.
Well, I
and the
just remember
allowance.
the ordinance under zoning and ordinance under Sean's department, that, as Derek stated, the opinion of our district court, our ordinance was fine. Now, hold on, I'm not trying to,
But the higher court overturned that.
this
So-
wasn't an appeals court, this was an appeal at
Correct.
the circuit court.
Correct.
Not to say it's a big difference, but it
On a
didn't go to the
specific-
appeal.
Well, it's a higher
On a
court.
specific case.
Yes.
So I guess my point is though, so we effectively shut down several short-term rentals.
Because
I
the
don't know if
court,
that's
well, the
correct.
courts allowed us,
And the
based
courts
upon
allowed
their
it,
interpretation.
Allowed us
but,
to,
But,
yeah.
so it's a bit of a, in my opinion, it's a bit of a, it's, you know, I don't know what an exact term, it's a bit misleading or I don't want to say unethical or immoral, but it's a little, I feel like we're kind of using a little bit of legality to continue to prohibit people from operating with Airbnbs and Verbos, because we previously shut them all down, and now we're saying, okay, if you have one right now, which would have been illegal until last week or the week before, then you can continue to operate. So I don't know. I don't support the moratorium in its current state. I mean, I think maybe we say in a month from now or 2 months from now we post a moratorium, or we include that if you were operating one 500 days ago or before we started shutting them all down, I think that would be more fair. Because it stands right now, the only people that could continue to operate under this moratorium is Scott plus anybody who is doing so illegally.
Well, not illegally, but anybody that, yeah, okay, whatever.
Anybody
word.
we didn't
Yeah.
take to court to shut down.
Yeah,
You know.
well, anybody that's had one. Now, that's straight from, Kristen, our.
Well, I know
municipal
we're
attorney.
probably technically doing this legally, right? I mean, I'm sure
we are doing it legally.
I'm sure we are doing this legally, and from a technical sense, it makes perfect sense. I just think we need to include a section or reach out to the people that were previously operating, and just operate in good faith, right? Like we're not a court, we're not Congress, we're the local representatives.
Because it was well, I'm not gonna get into the, it was a circuit court.
We did have a case that was kind of going through the process at the time when the court was overturned, and we ended up rescinding that ticket since it was overturned, so they were allowed to continue operating. So I know, including Ashton, there's at least one other that is currently operating that would be able to.
Well,
But you're
there's-
saying people that weren't following the ordinance, we should favor them because a higher court overturned something a lower court said.
Right.
They weren't following the ordinance to begin with, so no, you don't favor them.
Well, we are
Fix the
favoring them.
language.
We are favoring them. Because if they were breaking our ordinance and operating all the way up until today, they still get to operate.
You got
But the
one
people who
court that
followed,
overturned the lower court's language. They
the
do it
people
all
who
the time.
followed the law and shut down when the township directed them to are continuing to be punished. Well, the people that ignored the township ordinance and are operating today, quote unquote, not illegally, but in violation of ordinance, we're rewarding them by continuing to allow them to operate.
Well, the
Jameson,
case law
I think that is so far off.
is awarding.
I mean, it's factual.
We have a planning commission that zones where you can have short-term rentals and where you can't. So you're asking to expand.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that the people that we shut down because they're good citizens of Grosse Ile and they followed the ordinance, right? They don't get to open their Airbnbs up, but the people we didn't shut down, who are operating in a subversive or covert way, get to continue to operate. We're rewarding people who violated township ordinance while punishing people who obeyed it and shut down their Airbnbs.
Well, you know what? You have one vote, right? But
Yes, and you do as well.
I
So
do have a vote as well, and I wish that that gentleman would have come to me directly and asked whether I would step aside or not in my vote, because he didn't give me much time to think about it.
I mean, you called Mark and I unethical 2 months ago for voting on fences that we don't even have. And you
So
Hold on.
campaigned
Guys.
against Airbnb.
Guys, hold on, let's,
Listen, I find your entire personality
hold on,
offensive.
both of you.
That's another
both of
story.
you, hold on, please. I don't wanna have to smack this gavel that I,
And I was
don't
going
have.
to address the situation, but you jumped the gun before.
okay,
So.
let's do this. Let's,
Joe, if I may though, just to address on whether I step aside or not. I know that you guys have heard me a lot where I say I have a conflict of interest and I step aside. I practice law, and every time that we have anything, I run it by my firm to see if I have a conflict of law and step aside. Generally, that's when somebody is a client, where our firm is being paid for something, so that I do that in accordance with our state bar rules. In this case, when somebody is not obeying the ordinance, that is not something that the state bar requires me to step aside. What I was going to do was disclose also that the last person that wrote a letter, Miss Gilliam, is actually my neighbor. So I did want to disclose that as well so that people knew. There's also one other thing that makes it a little bit more different. She has, and excuse me, I don't remember the term, but it's it's a, what's the term?
Accessory
The
dwelling
ADU?
unit.
Yes, it's a different unit, and from what I understand from the planning commission, you are not allowed to have plumbing in that type of unit. And so for it to be an Airbnb with plumbing, that building is not even allowed. It's basically a garage with a unit over top with plumbing, and so even that is not permitted. So there's a lot more to it.
right,
So,
let's-
but my point is, this is not normally, as an attorney, where I would step aside because of a conflict.
okay, well, you do whatever you you feel you need to do on the vote or not.
Right.
Let's get back to this discussion.
I'd like to,
Eddie?
your question, I think, for me at least, is significant. There's a gentleman here whose name I forget, Scott is his first name, I believe. He is still legal, for want of a better term. We asked some other people to cease and desist, or we did something that was stopping them from doing it. What was wrong with these, what did these people do that was not in accord with our statutes, and why wasn't it enforced sooner? I don't, that sounds to me like a cause for mayhem right now.
So previously, when enforcing short-term rentals, because they're not a permitted use in single-family zoning, they're explicitly prohibited, and that's, we won a few cases at the 33rd District Court saying that, so we had been enforcing it as such. And then because it was recently overturned by the 3rd Judicial Circuit Court, that's the change.
There was some language involved in that, if I heard correctly.
Yeah, so
Interpretation of language.
So we're just changing that.
No, we're not
We have
changing.
Airbnbs that have been asked to, whatever mandate we passed against them. Are they in residential areas that are zoned to?
Correct. So the way zoning works, just a real brief summary. Certain areas of the town are zoned for certain types of uses, to try to keep consistent uses with consistent uses.
Exactly.
Right, and offensive uses from not, offending residential districts and things of that sort. So zoning permits certain types of usage within a district. And as Sean had mentioned, if it's not listed as a permitted use, the standard is it's not permitted, okay? So it doesn't specifically state you're allowed to do this within that district, you're not allowed to. Now, there can be interpretation by judges when there's litigation involved of that language itself. Up until this point, the 33rd District Court had sided with the Township of Groseal that it's not listed as a permitted use, so it's not permitted. The judge on appeal in the Aston case said, well, I don't necessarily agree with the verbiage about, what's allowed in R1 zoning, that this isn't part of that. And that is the difference. We didn't change any language. We didn't modify the zoning. We didn't amend it to include or disallow short-term rentals. Nothing like that occurred. It was just the interpretation by a judge of what the language said or didn't say.
Did Scott Aston have a contract in his agreement that has some language that's different than these other handful of people that we're talking about? Why is he the only one left standing?
So what the court said is that a dwelling unit includes temporary and transient occupancy. So the single-family detached dwelling unit there's no durational limit on like how long a person can stay there. So that's why it
His
is not
units,
allowed.
his dwelling units are different than the other ones, and that's what gives him this opportunity?
No, his isn't different. It's just that basically the way the court views our ordinance changed. So that's the change from why they previously
He
weren't allowed.
appealed, Bill.
He went
the
to
others
circuit
didn't.
court, Bill.
Yes. Yeah, he appealed.
No one else went to circuit court from the district court.
He's
That's
the guy that
probably-
got the language hiccup in there. I
That-
got it.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with, he just happened to appeal it to the district court. It's not in the appellate court, but he appealed it to the district court, and the district court judge, as Derek explained.
So we're wanting to say time out on this, and we'll get our language together over the next 6 months.
We can still do that and not have a moratorium. And we can do it with the moratorium, but that was the question that,
I'd rather shut the thing down and make sure we're doing it right and square, and we don't have people.
well, that's fine. I mean, I guess as a board, this side, I didn't really get to hear from, you three.
So regardless if we do this moratorium or not, you're still gonna go through and create ordinances.
Yep, it's the same.
Nobody's grandfathered in, correct?
Yeah, so once the
So
new
you can go back and
ordinance-
apply those new ordinances
Mhm.
as necessary.
To everybody.
Yes.
You're
Okay.
correct. I don't mean it this way, but if we do it or don't do it, the moratorium, it doesn't change what we're going to be looking into.
Understood. So what I'm saying is I'll use Mr. Austin,
Aston.
as an example since he was here,
Yeah.
right, and he spoke. So he's gonna continue regardless, right? Once the new ordinances are put in place, he's gonna have to comply with that, right?
Yes.
I mean, well,
If we do change things
if we
around,
change
we're
things,
gonna
around.
talk
if we
about
were
it. Yeah.
changing, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this moratorium, it really doesn't hold
just-
a lot of weight. I mean,
Well, I think, and Sean can speak to it better, but from an administrative standpoint, in running his department, if there wasn't a pause, I think, and I don't want to speak for you, it can cause some significant issues. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we've received complaints from neighbors regarding short-term rentals on the island. So this would prohibit new ones. So our concern is just like it creating a free-for-all for the next 6 months. If it kind of gets out of hand, I know there was the one on, I think it was Chatham, it was a short-term rental. So we're just concerned that we could call it ordinance or maybe like police issues if we let the new ones open up. I know, like, in my previous position, we saw this a lot with, like, solar projects. It didn't prohibit ones that were already underway, but, like, prohibited new ones until new regulations were, like, put in place. So it's pretty standard in my experience, having moratoriums on things that aren't explicitly regulated and to develop regulations.
Because right now, if without the moratorium, we have on the books that it is allowed following this case, but there are no rules that regulate short-term rentals. So they, in essence, have no ability to be able to control how those are managed, how those are handled, which can cause a significant amount of issue because there's no
By
regulation.
shutting things down, we can avoid that issue coming up with it and have a handful of angry people because you did it for him, you didn't do it for me type remarks. That gives us a chance to establish consistency. And that's what I was reading when I was speaking here a bit ago. We
but to
want this
Jameson's point,
shut
I'm
down
sorry.
Because
To put some thought into it.
give it some thoughts that we could apply fairly and equally to everybody.
Yeah. So it'd be a 6-month break until we have regulations that would be applied equally.
Take some potential heat off of you too.
Yeah, it'd allow our department kind of the ability to
So it'd be
develop
easier,
regulations.
not easier, that's the wrong question. It would be helpful to you and your department if this passed, is that correct?
Yeah, so then we would avoid the issue of new short-term rentals that aren't regulated and kind of a free-for-all in that sense.
Okay.
Can we modify this to put a moratorium on new short-term rentals, but not previously operated short-term rentals?
No.
isn't that what this is?
I don't know if you can do that. The moratorium then wouldn't be legally accurate.
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, we could just modify the language, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a moratorium then. Because the moratorium definition in the courts is that none at the point of the court decision forward would be allowed to do whatever you're enjoining them to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just don't want to punish the people that did the right thing, which this does.
You're changing the zoning again. You're changing the zoning.
We're not changing any zoning.
You are what you're trying to do. You're changing the zoning. When people buy their houses and they decide what purchase price to offer, they are doing that by saying that there is no Airbnb next to them. And now you're like twisting the rules all around, and all of a sudden you're saying, oh, well, okay, let them have an Airbnb next to them because of what they were doing a year ago. So now you are killing the value of the home that did nothing wrong.
I mean, I think we have much larger zoning issues than Airbnbs, but to my point
But
is
that takes
we're,
away from the, you're so.
well, it doesn't
somebody spends
necessarily,
$1,000 on a
it
house.
doesn't necessarily reduce your value, right? Like
It
somebody
does.
might come in
It does.
to a poorly maintained house and invest a bunch of money into it to make it a very nice Airbnb and rent it for significant amounts of money, right?
Listen,
So,
I'm gonna
but that's
tell
not the
you.
point we're discussing.
if I may,
had a little girl getting off a
you know-
school bus, and I had 5 men in pickup trucks on the road. One was at the Airbnb, the rest were at a dock that was being rented out. This little girl got off the school bus by herself and had to walk in front of a bunch of strange men going down the street. It absolutely impacts. And you're laughing at that? You think that's funny?
I mean,
A little
walking
girl
down
in
the
front
street in front of other human beings in Grosse Hill Township isn't exactly like a
bunch of
significant
strange
threat.
men. A
So-
bunch of
What, I
strange
mean,
men.
whoa, Mickey. Like that's just ridiculous. What? They're just men. Like, let's stop with
Hold on,
the
guys, listen.
shenanigans.
Hold on a
Like,
second.
Yeah,
and
shenanigans.
Derek,
One other thing.
Yeah,
Derek
The
wanted-
reason that I brought that up on the fence was
Are you
because
not
you went
listening?
around the planning commission and you didn't tell them the issue you had
yes,
with
we
the
did. It
fence.
was brought to
Whoa.
the committee.
I
Mickey,
disclosed
stop.
my issue.
Okay,
Yeah, you
hold
have
on.
an issue
go
with your
around
neighbor.
anything.
That's what you have.
Guys,
Right?
Disclose it, though.
guys,
That's the
both of you,
difference.
you're gonna start listening.
Because, you know, when
No,
he
listen
questions
to
my
me now.
integrity, Joe.
No, stop.
No, when he questions
I'm
my
done.
integrity-
Shut her mic off then.
Shut it off. I'll shut it off right now.
You start listening to me. When we get into these conversations and I say enough's enough, I run this show. That's the name right here. It says
you know
supervisor.
what?
Oh, sorry, that's you.
When he questions my integrity,
Okay,
speak
I
up
get it,
now.
but when I say, whoa, please, we can talk about it
No,
in a
Joe.
regular way. Don't make me act like this.
When
Don't
he
do this to
questions
me.
my integrity, you
No,
didn't say
don't
anything.
make me act like this,
You didn't say
please.
anything back then.
No, don't make me do this. That was right, I was just messing with you. It was the right name. Please,
Okay,
we gotta keep control of these meetings.
I agree.
Derek?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, these are all good conversations to have as we're putting the ordinance together. And I think, Jameson, you've got an excellent point. I can see, that it might be punishing those that voluntarily shut it down after they were asked to do so. But I guess I would say that I think the goal of the Community Development Department is to work through the proper process to establish an ordinance that is reflective of what the community wants. The moratorium is 6 months in length. I would hope that you guys would put it as a priority to work through developing that ordinance or those regulations quicker than that. So in essence, assuming we could get through the process within a 3-month period of time, you would only be penalizing those individuals that you're mentioning for maybe a 3-month period of time before they can then, potentially operate under the guidelines that are established through the democratic process, right? So hopefully we can minimize that by accelerating that timeline and making it a priority with the department. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so the township planner and I have already met with Kristen regarding this. We reviewed New Buffalo, Michigan's ordinance and kind of thought that could be a good framework, but also are looking to do like outreach with the community and receive their feedback on how they feel about short-term rentals. But our goal is to kind of get this to you guys as soon as possible.
So,
Okay.
I've never heard of New Buffalo, however. It was something like that. I have concerns about this particular subject, and I do believe we need to do a lot of additional homework on the topic, to Mr. Aston's point. It's Aston, correct? I got it.
believe so.
Okay. We've seen a lot of situations that are very concerning recently in other communities. So I can understand both Mickey and Jameson's point, and quite frankly, when I sat there calmly listening to both of them, they're almost in a way, in a backwards way, very similar. So what I'm getting at is, I know we have a lot of short-term rentals that are managed without incident in many communities. I've taken advantage of one in a very upscale community in Rhode Island. Now, if they can manage things, and I will point out to, I believe, Ms. Gilliam's point, this was in somebody's home. They didn't vacate their home. They had a whole nother level that they could, be in. This was on the ocean. So I'm giving you an idea of how extravagant this home was. And I'm saying this because this particular, I think they're a township also, might be a city, whatever. They allowed for this, but they managed things very strictly. Now, we just saw a horrific incident, and I will call it horrific, in Birmingham. That was awful, what we witnessed. That was somebody renting out an entire home, right? I just feel that perhaps we can find some middle ground in some way and determine what are our options and how can things be managed. And I might be wrong. Maybe we can't. I don't know. We have to look at enforcement. We have to look at a lot of things. And to Mickey's point, we do have to consider property value. To Jameson's point, we also have to consider what this higher court said. Does it just need a modification to an ordinance? I don't know. But I don't know that it's only a 6-month thing. That's my concern. I think this requires, and this is just my opinion, perhaps a subcommittee of some sort where people calmly come together and have these conversations. And maybe they won't always be calm, but, I do think we need to have some homework done, and we need to do benchmarking, perhaps not in New Buffalo, Michigan. I think we need to perhaps have some communities around us that are a little more relevant. Where is Old Buffalo, whatever it is, new, whatever? Okay, I'm just suggesting somewhere in the vicinity. That's not New Buffalo.
I agree with you, Margaret.
Buffalo's a very nice town.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is with
Okay,
Buffalo.
I'm gonna apologize to the people of New Buffalo. I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to find middle ground for us. I do think we have some middle ground to be had. I do think this is a very big topic that needs a lot of work. I understand frustrations on both sides, and I do think we can get to a point where we have logic and reason that gets applied to where we need to go. And I'm sorry, New Buffalo, Michigan.
All right, I'm gonna call the question here, but we're done.
Okay.
Okay, not you're done.
No,
No, not you're done.
I understood.
Oh, Mark, did you have something? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask Jameson, what his point would be to, keep this, kick it down the road, so to speak, for a month. I mean, he brought that up early on in his conversation about maybe not doing this tonight, maybe bring it up the next meeting or 2 meetings. I don't understand. What would be the purpose of that, Jameson? I'm just
It would
curious.
give the people who were previously operating the opportunity to figure out what's going on and start operating so that the moratorium wouldn't apply to them.
Gotcha. All
I
right.
gotcha, okay.
That would be fair.
So Jameson's mad at me, so he wants a person next to me to be able to open their Airbnb up so that they can have it
Well,
next to me.
I'm not-
That's exactly what he's
I
trying
don't
to
think
do.
not
this
mad
has
at
anything
you.
to do with that.
Okay, hold on.
I'm trying to be
Please.
fair to the people that previously
They
were
weren't following
operating
the ordinance.
Airbnbs.
They were not
and
following the ordinance.
Is that how this is gonna
And
work,
it's
though?
not zoned to have Airbnbs in that area.
So-
And I worked my ass off to get my house, and now you're taking the property value
Okay,
down.
please listen to me. Thank you. I appreciate this time. I apologize. I had to say what I said to both of you, Jameson and Mickey. Thank you for understanding me now and listening to me. I do appreciate that. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna call the question, and that's the way it goes. So,
Yeah, just a point of clarity, if we vote yes, we're saying we're gonna do this 6-month deal, right?
yes.
yeah, 6 month is what we're voting on, Bill.
Have we got a motion in place yet?
We already did.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so, action item number 2, it'd be a moratorium on the creation of any short-term rental on any residential property. What I'd like to do, so this is easier for Brian. Can we just start from the left and go down? Is that okay?
Can we start from the right?
Okay, let's start from the right. Bill, do you vote yes for this bill?
I vote yes. I would like to see this thing, give us some time to thoughtfully look at it. There's a lot of
Okay.
viewpoints here. We need clarity so we can do it fairly.
Okay, Mickey, you're up.
Aye.
Jameson,
Nay?
Joe, aye. Kevin,
Nay.
Mark,
Nay.
Oh, frackety frack.
you should have started.
I guess I should
Margaret.
have.
What are we waiting for?
Well, that's all right. Margaret's thinking.
For me, give me a minute, please.
She's got the 3 to 3. It's whatever you want, Margaret. Go on. It's
I am struggling with this one.
okay. That's fine.
So, the moratorium means, just to clarify for myself, that anybody that had been given a letter that said you cannot run your Airbnb, whatever you want to call it, short-term rental,
That's correct.
that they wouldn't be part of this situation because they listened to your guidance.
They would not be able to operate.
They would not be able to operate.
But the people who didn't comply or weren't sent letters would.
I think the ones that were currently in litigation or currently unresolved would still be permitted, which I think you maybe have, what,
There's
two or three, two of them? Two of them. Until the ordinance is adopted that regulates it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I do feel we need some time. I struggle with this one. I'm gonna have to say aye. Right? Yes.
I means
Yes.
you
Yes.
agree to
Good.
the moratorium.
I
No, I
do.
meant it's yes, but
Sorry, yeah,
geez, I get that.
got it. I know.
All right, so Brian,
I'd rather
what did we get?
Go either way, but yes,
Okay,
I could.
all right. We still are gonna do the same thing. We still are gonna do those others that are in oh, hey, hold on one second. Sorry, Sean. Just come on back, please. The ones that Derek just talked about, we'll be able to continue. Some of the
Yes.
ones we were dealing with, so we're gonna let those go.
Yep.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you, Sean,
Yeah,
for your
thank
time
you.
tonight. Okay, I appreciate that. All right, Kevin, you're up.
Action item, number 3 is to purchase a F-250 pickup truck for the DPS department. And the recommendation is contingent upon a recommendation from the Grosville DPS Commission. The Township Board hereby approves a purchase from Gorno Ford of a 2027 Ford F-250 pickup truck with liftgate under the Michigan Deal Cooperative Bidding System at a cost of $64,825.
Second.
Thank you. The history is budgeted for 26-27 was a new liftgate truck for DPS department. The truck will also be prepared as a snowplow and will have a liftgate which is used to transport a variety of supplies and used in various operations, trash cans, roadkill. The department is currently down a vehicle as the existing F-250 is beyond repair. The truck will be purchased under the current state bid contract, which satisfies the township's bidding requirement while achieving the department's best pricing on a truck. It is budgeted for the 25-26 year. And Derek, would you like to make any comments?
No, just that we have a DPS commission meeting that is scheduled for tomorrow, so rather than wait another month, I wanted to get it in front of you before it went to DPS. Unfortunately, if DPS was prior to this, we would have, had their recommendation, but it is contingent upon them also endorsing it at their meeting tomorrow. We only have one F-150 in the fleet. All of our other trucks are 250s and 350s, for which our plow equipment is available interchangeable. As the action item had mentioned, we are replacing an existing 250, which is basically beyond repair. So if there are any questions, I can answer those at this time.
No, nothing? All right, with nothing?
Well, wait,
Oh, you got something?
I'm sorry. So this is not just 64K, is that correct? It's 64 plus the add-ons?
The 64,825 is,
With the other?
it's everything with just the skid plate and shock absorbers. So it does include the lift gate, it does include the lighting, and then the 2027 F-250 4x4. So if you look at the breakdown on page 47,
Yep.
you'll see the Tommy Gate G2 aluminum lift gate. That's included in the price.
And then the options,
Only one option was selected, and that was the off-road package.
okay, so you didn't choose all those other items then?
No, I did check with DPS, and they were fine with just what was specified with that, with the skid plates.
So you don't think that you need that safety content then?
We didn't have it included. Some of the issues with some of that safety equipment is it's not usable.
Because of what you have on front and back?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure because,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that's a good thing to have, but I
Underst-
understand what you're saying.
Yeah, understandable. Yep.
I do have one question. I know you, it said 17-inch wheels or tires or, and then it looked like we got a upgraded, that didn't seem like a very big tire.
Well, they're the rims.
The rim, okay.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference?
I mean, 17 inches is pretty standard.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. We could go, I mean, it's got 245s.
Yeah,
Probably.
31s,
No, bigger than that, yeah.
30, maybe 33s.
I think that's pretty standard for a work truck, 17.
Yeah,
Thank you.
37s.
I think you're good.
Preferable. I'm joking, we don't need 37.
See if you can get a Raptor.
Right.
Okay, action item number 3, purchase F-250 pickup truck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All right, 1 nay, motion is carried. Number 4, I will take. Let me just have to pull the picture up, sorry. Okay, Township Board authorizes the contracting with Bendzinski and Company to serve as Township's municipal finance advisors to the issuance of Township, Grosse Ile, County of Wayne, 2026 unlimited tax general obligation bonds. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. As mentioned in the attached engagement letter, Bendzinski and Company will provide the following necessary services for issuance up to $37,885 in bonds associated, oh, I'm sorry, my mistake, $37,885,000. A little short there. That's the way I've been for a while. In bonds associated with capital work on Grosse Ile Toll Bridge, and you can read the rest of the jargon there if you wish. There were some questions that came up, and I'm gonna let Kevin go first, but we did speak to the commission, the Bridge Commission. Kevin had a question on, that they, before we vote on this, he would like to have them review it, and they did agree, but we wanted to bring this up as an action item and then talk about it. So, Kevin, is there anything else, or did I explain it at least?
Yes,
somewhat?
that's perfect. Thank you, Joe. The Bridge Commission has graciously said that they would review the Bendzinski proposal, and I think as part of what they do, and they have already looked at all of this stuff, it would be really great for them to take a look through that and make sure another set of eyes can't hurt. And I think we have the time to do it. So, would you like to? Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to let you know, our commission, we don't feel like we have much expertise in this area, but we certainly would be, happy to look at it and see what we see and learn something in the process.
Well, and I think that's probably, if we were to give the Bridge Commission the opportunity to review it, that'd probably be the important part, right? Your understanding of it, since it drives your operations, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank
How would you guys, anybody else, have an opinion on this? I have no problem that it goes back, especially because, the lady and gentleman on the commission said they would like to see this.
So,
It-
didn't they have, so did you have an opportunity to look at this in the board packet then?
And a matter of fact, tonight is the first time I've heard of this.
Well, that's when we approached them.
yeah.
Three of them were here.
I heard of this afternoon from Derek and from Kevin, and from Joe. So it's like, we certainly are not going to object to it, you know. So
Traditionally,
it's at the pleasure of the board.
professional services associated with bonding does not go to any commission,
Right.
even if the bond is associated with some portion of their operations, because issuance of debt is completely the board's responsibility. As was mentioned, though, if there's value in the commission, reviewing this so they understand how bond counsel or bond professional services are procured and how that all works. There's nothing that I think putting in front of the Bridge Commission and having them review it, none of that would cause a delay. I think that would be of issue to the bonding process because, we've got a little bit of lead time with regards to this stuff. So the education would probably be beneficial for the commission, but it before you is not out of process and how we normally do things because you are the governing body that handles this and always have handled.
And we'll still vote on it. I mean, we still
Absolutely.
are the
Oh, yeah.
ones.
They don't have the authority to.
You have no offense. I mean, we're the ones still voting, so yeah, if you guys feel, and lady feel that, you'd like to see it, learn something from it, or see what input.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that, because the process, the time limit, we can get it done quick enough where it's not gonna,
Yeah, we don't have a July bridge
Yeah.
meeting. We will have one in August, which will
Right.
be I think the third Wednesday, which means this would come to you in the second meeting in August.
Alright.
Coming back to you in the second meeting in
board,
August.
yeah, okay.
Pardon me.
All right, does anybody, how about this?
I'd like to put my 2 cents in on this. Go on, I didn't mean
No,
to shut you off.
Go ahead, Bill.
I don't remember how long ago I heard the name Bendzinski, that they were dealing with bonds. They were big in bonds, and to my best knowledge, are around Grosse Pointe, and it goes back decades. If you look at the people they've done business for, they look to me to be about the only store in town. But beyond that, even if they're not, I would think that they're unquestionably the biggest store in town, which means they have more chances to stumble on the need for an innuendo or as an exception, or a knowing of how to secure something that's got $600 million versus $2 million or whatever. I trust, if all those communities trust them and do it, that we would too. The reason I'm taking the time to say that is I don't normally make this kind of a remark or have this kind of a thought. It's because we should look around to make sure that things are ethical, to make sure that things are well priced, that we give everybody a chance. But I'm talking out of the other side of my mouth right now. But I went to that, go ahead and learn, because we might need it some other time, but this company, I have reason to believe on my personal experience, who have done an awful lot of good work for an awful lot of people and are worthy of trust. Thank you.
All right, does anybody object if we table this or let the Bridge Commission review it, come back to us? Is there anybody at the board level have an issue with this?
No, I think that'd be a great idea. I think they should review it.
Okay. How do I,
Somebody can amend the motion to send it to the Bridge Commission. Because we
Okay.
table it, it's supposed to come back at the next meeting.
I
We
get
know
it.
That's
We
not gonna
can't.
happen,
All right.
so.
So my motion then would be, I make a motion for the consultants Bendzinski Bendzinski and Group. How would I say it? Yeah, proposal to go before the Bridge Commission first.
Or send it to, for review.
For review then, however you want to say
To
it.
the Bridge Commission,
Okay,
however you say it.
then that was my motion. Make that a motion.
Second that motion.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Oh, we got
Now,
two
what-
nays? Oh, two,
Aye.
oh, all right, one nay?
One day.
Okay.
What I would suggest here is that maybe Derek would send it to all the commissioners in advance. We take a look at it, and we'll cover it at our commission meeting. I suspect that it won't come back as a recommendation you approve, more like we see no reason not to do that.
Yeah, that would be fine,
Yeah.
however you feel and you're comfortable with, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. No, oh, yeah, did you have some? Oh. No discussion items tonight. Jameson, your clerk's report.
Okay, if you tuned in to Groseal TV or our various social media and video platforms, you would have seen at 5 p.m. today we did the voting machine proofing. That was myself, Treasurer Flavin, and Supervisor Porcarelli, along with Deputy Clerk Mr. Thiel or Friel. And could you guys not have rhyming last names? And that's so that we can proof the voting machines and ensure they're counting votes properly and not counting things they shouldn't be, and rejecting ballots that need correction, right? And that's so that if you make a mistake on your ballot and you feed it into the machine will identify that you've made a mistake, such as voting for a split ticket, voting for both parties, or voting for too many of something on a particular race, and it will tell you that, and then you can take it back and fix it, right? So it's a pretty great function to have. And it's much better than it was back in the day when it was just, the little old lady from church trying to look at 100 ballots an hour and tell you if you're making an error. So the election's on August 4th. That is the primary, so you will not see independents. You will only see people from the two major parties. Early voting starts 27th, Brian, or 28th?
25th.
25th, I'm sorry. The 25th. We'll go to the second, and that'll be 8 to 4 here at Township Hall. So, moving into the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee role, Grow Road paving or repaving is complete. So that's along South Point up here to Grow Road, and then down to East River. I walked it the other day. It looks really great. So thank you to Al's Asphalt and Paving, not Big Al's. I hope he was never offended. Maybe I thought he was a big guy or something, but I've never even seen him. So, the Bellevue connector going from Meridian down to West River and then connecting up to the Parkway Bridge and then across the street to across the water, to the trails over there is well underway. The paths are in, and I saw them pulling the cones off there last week, so you can use them. I believe there's a little bit more work to do as far as landscaping and things like that, but it looks good, and that was all made possible through grants, and it was a nearly $2 million investment that didn't cost the residents of Grosse Ile anything. And it's just a really great project, and it ties us into the state's rail to trail system, the Downriver Link Greenways, and the Iron Belt Trail. So, just two more, sorry. 250th anniversary will be on the 25th of July over at Centennial Park. We are going to have a couple of a tour to Eel bike. It's not a race, it's a ride. And then a smaller one that's only 5 miles for folks that don't want to ride the full distance. And there's going to be a wreath laying. There's a flag coming that's flown over the Capitol that the Grosse Ile Garden Club has got that they're going to raise over Centennial Farm. So it's going to be a great event. And there'll be games and things like that. And then last but not least, we fixed the pool. Good. I know you were really itching to get in there. So yeah, I was. The pool over at the rec center is repaired. The inspection is complete. Water's Edge. Yeah, is open tomorrow, and we will allow free entry into the pool through Sunday. It's going to be hot this week, so if you and kids or grandkids or whoever want to get down to the pool and take a dip, it won't cost you anything at all through Sunday. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you.
The treasurer's report, residents should have received your summer tax bills. Should you have not received it or have any questions or concerns, please call the treasurer's office, and we can help you. And there are dog licenses are available at this time. And that is our treasurer's report today. Thank you for paying your taxes.
Mark, you're up.
This is gonna be short. So the zoning board is planning a meeting, an appellate meeting for the 28th of July. I do not have any of the details yet. We're still in the planning phase, but we are gonna have a meeting, it looks like, on the 28th. Is the last Tuesday of the month, I believe. And Mr. Supervisor, if you don't mind addressing in your report, if you could bring up do we have an ordinance officer starting soon? Who that might be? Where are we at in the process with that? If you don't mind commenting on that during your report? During your report?
Yeah, I can address that, but
Okay.
Sean told me next Thursday?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I know
He said
that,
A week from Thursday, a week from Wednesday.
I think we had gotten something like maybe 5, 6 applications. We tried to interview multiple candidates, but it ended up just having one that showed up for an interview. I know the department had extended an offer to that individual for which he accepted, and then I wasn't sure of the start date,
It's
but
Thursday.
is it Thursday?
But we were gonna interview, I'll just talk about it real quick, because you're asking. We were gonna interview 3 of them, actually. And only one finalized it and came in for the interview. And the other 2, one got a job somewhere else, and one just didn't come in. But there was 5 total applicants. And so we only interviewed 1 instead of the 3.
Okay.
And then he should be starting, Sean told me just the other day, it was a week from Thursday, I believe, or a week from Wednesday. I apologize, so it'll be next week from tomorrow.
Okay. Do we know can we say who this person is, or?
I mean, can we,
To be truthful, I don't recall the individual's name.
I think.
oh, I know his name, his name is Dion, but the question is,
Here's who it is.
I already said it, I mean, we gave him an offer,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's not a problem there, right?
I know that they had gone through getting him a prep radio through the police department. I know that they
Yeah,
were talking
we
about
had
getting him
that
a uniform, so it's all in process,
Yeah.
so.
Nice.
His last name is Dion,
First name is Gordon.
Oh,
Gordon.
all right, well,
okay?
very good.
I
Thank
just
you.
thought we'd bring it up now, because
No, I appreciate it. Thank you
you
very much.
asked about it, I can, are you good, Mark?
Yeah, I'm all set. thanks.
Okay, Mickey, you are up.
So for the fire department, the millage renewal language will be submitted to the township board on July 27th. And Joe, I think you know how we tweaked that, so can you call Mary Ellen? The aerial truck is almost done. Chief Roscoe's going to pick it up on July 27th, and he'll do the final inspection. If he finds anything, he'll have it fixed right then. He's gonna be doing a 10-hour drive back through the mountains with that fire truck, so that'll be interesting. And then he'll have it available for folks in the near future to see. Over the holiday weekend, they had 47 calls, so they were really busy. Their next meeting is August 13th. On Greenways Open Space, they put up the signs on all the trails to show the e-bike ordinance. Their millage renewal will be submitted to the board on the same date. There is no August 4th meeting, so Brian, I sent you a note on that. Instead, we're gonna have an August 6th study session at 6 p.m. and we'll talk about the upcoming millage for that. For the Groseal Nature and Land Conservancy, or GINLC, they have a lot going on. July 14th, they're hosting Native Plants with Wild Birds Unlimited from 6 o'clock to 7:30 at the Resource Center on Macomb. July 17th, they'll be out front at the Resource Center for the Red, White, and New Island Nights. July 18th at 10 o'clock, they're holding a Native Garden Volunteer event at the Resource Center. They're looking for volunteers to help with the gardening, and you may be able to get some surplus plants. And July 19th, Sam will be leading a bird walk at 10 a.m. at the Gibraltar Bay Unit. On July 25th, they're going to be part of the Groseal's 250th anniversary celebration at Centennial Farm. They'll have a table there, and they'll lead a butterfly and insects walk at 1 o'clock. And finally, you may have seen the write-up at the July 8th edition of the Groseal Brand about the Sunrise Park cleanup. Thanks to all the volunteers who came up. And that's it.
All right, thank you very much. Margaret?
I'll start with communications. We're going to be planning for a smaller newsletter for August. That's due to the election. Brian does that dual role, so we're going to put maybe time-sensitive information in there and stick with that. I also want to mention we're having another Island Nights on Macomb on Friday. It's our red, white, and you theme. And I'm mentioning this because I just want to point out again, we have a lot of small businesses, not just on Macomb, but all over the island. And I think they need a little love from everybody, quite frankly. I don't know if they get, as much as they should from where they should. So I usually try to highlight small businesses. One I think I'm going to highlight because they just did an event with the Township is Carmela's Italian Ice, which is on Macomb. It's at the former PNC Bank. It's really, really impressive ice cream. It's all handmade. It's bespoke, if you will. It's no fillers. It's just amazing. And they have non-dairy products for anybody that is, dairy-free. It's just really great. It's fun for the kids. They have a nice setup there. So just wanted to point that out. It's something we usually do in the newsletter, but that might not happen in August. So the Police Commission. Our next meeting is July 21. And similar to Mickey, I want to express my appreciation for the outstanding work of our police department and our fire department during this last recent storm. We don't always see everything that goes on into their daily responsibilities, these first responders, but this storm was a reminder of their commitment. And especially, during that holiday weekend, if you will, the amount of emergency calls was considerable. Our police officers and firefighters took on additional responsibilities because of it being a holiday. They did a lot of clearing of trees that were in the roads. And, it's a lot of work that typically doesn't fall onto them. That's not a pun, if you will, but they do that to help ensure the community remains safe. And I just want to call them out. Another thing I want to say is I know there were a lot of residents very concerned with the widespread power outage, rightfully so. And I know I've never seen this, but DTE, I know they responded to significant damage across multiple communities, and restoration and line repairs took longer than I think we typically see. But the biggest concern I heard from a lot of residents, and I want to point out, was down lines that were actually stayed hot on fire in some cases, and I've not seen that before. So I also want to thank Supervisor Porcerelli because he actually made calls to DTE and tried to coordinate, when we could get on their schedule and what needed to be done. And he provided that information, to residents. And we've not really seen that quite like, we've been trying to do with communications in the past. So I just want to say I appreciate that. And finally, that was going to be the end, but I want to say with respect to the language used in the police millage, I want to provide clarification. The language referencing the DDA and brownfield capture was intentionally removed because we knew we would be requesting that DDA discontinue capturing police millage dollars, which I believe they should. The timeline required the millage language to be finalized and submitted after we knew the request would go to DDA and brownfield. So including that language would no longer be accurate in our millage. And historically, from 1992 till approximately 2023, a portion of police millage tax dollars has been captured without that language. And we wanted the ballot language to accurately reflect the potential change rather than reference a practice that may not continue. While I found it completely unfortunate that the DDA chose to continue the capture of taxpayers' designated funds that are for the police millage when we have a budget that's struggling. I want to be very clear. This was done transparently. The timing of the language, the request of the DDA, and the actions taken by the respective boards have all occurred through public meetings, public records, and so I understand the questions, but I'm hoping that this clarifies everything. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Margaret. William?
Janelle here spoke for I'm on the Airport Commerce Park Commission. Spoke very well tonight about some of the accomplishments and achievements that she's been doing with the airport. The things that have been going on this past year in terms of progress, of activity there, opportunities to help residents here in various ways are interesting and phenomenal at both. I mean, there's been a lot that has gone on, and I think worthy of commendation as well as making awareness. The Planning Commission is working on some adjustments to ordinances, and they'll know more in the weeks ahead and get it more publicly known. Thank you.
You set, Bill? Oh, I didn't hear, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I wasn't talking very loud, I guess.
Yeah, no, did you say
done.
you were good? Okay, I wanted to make sure, I didn't want to cut you off. Derek, go ahead.
Good evening. Just have a couple of quick items tonight. On the overhead is a copy of a news release that was provided by Wayne County on Friday regarding the Swan Island Bridge. So I did want to provide a little bit of additional information to this news release after speaking with the county today. As is mentioned in the news release and was mentioned by the county in my conversations today with them, they have kind of settled on a preferred route for the Swan Island Bridge issue. What that route is a repair of the existing bridge. Over the past week and a half, since the load rating was reduced, they had their engineering companies reviewing the limiting factors on the bridge that resulted in the lowering of the load limits. And then reviewed some other ideas for how best to address that issue, ultimately settling on what appears to be a repair to that existing bridge. After they settled on that alternative, they ended up putting together a specification. During the development of that specification, they did talk with a variety of different contractors to get their input on that repair. That specification was finalized, I believe, the end of last week or the beginning of this being today, and that specification has been released to contractors for bidding and proposals. The proposals, I believe, are going to be due the beginning of next week. It's going to take a couple of days for the county to review those proposals, and then hopefully ultimately determine the contractor that'll be doing that work. Depending upon how those proposals come in, it could either solidify that as being their preferred option, or it might put them back to the table. If those costs come in significantly higher than anticipated, then other things might become more attractive as far as options for restoring the bridge to 33 tons. Based upon their engineering recommendations, it sounds like the repairs, though, should be able to bring that bridge back to its previous load limit of 33 tons. So they have confidence in that. Until they end up settling in as that being the preferred option, once they get that pricing, they won't truly know what the schedule is going to be because they have to go over that with the contractor that is ultimately selected to do that job. But as in our toll bridge project, they understand expediency is the highest priority to get that bridge back to 33 tons. So I know that they've communicated that to all their vendors, and I believe they understand as far as their vendors go that expediency is going to be a condition of award. So once they get those bids back, which once again will hopefully be next week, they can settle on a contractor, hopefully, and then bind that work, and then a schedule should be forthcoming that will be generated from the contractor that's selected. So that's the latest that I have, in addition to what the county put out. Unfortunately, I don't have a detailed schedule at this point, but obviously I've mentioned the reasons why they're not willing to provide that, because to a certain extent, they don't know. They do understand, that this is an emergency, and they're working through the procurement process and engineering process very quickly as far as the county goes. Obviously, they're a large governmental organization. It takes a lot to get them moving very quick, just because of how decision making is organized there, which is not uncommon for a large government like a county. I do want to take the opportunity to thank the residents for their patience. I don't know that I have fielded a complaint from the residents since the day that the bridge was reduced down to 3 tons. And that's saying a lot, because the residents out there have to bring their garbage, their yard waste, their recyclables to these dumpsters we have in the parking lot. Their packages get delivered here to Township Hall. They have to come and pick those up. Projects that they've had scheduled have had to be delayed. Contractors that are doing their work at their home, those have to be their logistics have to have been changed. Deliveries for things like shingles or tables or anything that would come across that bridge that would exceed 3 tons, those have had to been accommodated, and all that has been done basically without complaint by those residents. So want to really thank them, take the opportunity to thank them for their patience and understanding with everything that's been going on over there. That truly is a great illustration of community. They've all kind of gotten together. They've helped each other out. For those residents that can't get things delivered or bring things off the island, they've all kind of gotten together and helped one another. Thanks to them for every bit of understanding that they've extended with this difficult situation out there. So, DPS meeting tomorrow in this room at 7 o'clock. So keep that on your schedule and tune in if you're interested in knowing what's going on with DPS. And then last but not least, appreciate the presentation that was given this evening. There's been a lot that's been going on since the purchase of the bridge. The intent was to update the community and also the board and offer them the opportunity to understand the work that's been going on and the scope of work that we're undertaking with the bridge project to ensure that you have a reliable bridge down there on the north end of the island. And the Bridge Commission, I do want to also thank them for the work that they've been putting in. We have engineering meetings with H&H once every other week, in which the Bridge Commission is engaged, have been making sure that the residents' interests are preserved in the design of that project. So they've done a great job, and I've said this before, the board, either by design or by happenstance, did a great job in selecting the members that are on that commission, because they all have different disciplines. They all work together very well, and the input they've been providing to the engineers and on behalf of the community has been very valuable. So,
Agreed.
That concludes my report for this evening.
Agreed very much on
Thank
that one. I'm going to change my report tonight. I had a couple things. I mean, they're just odds and ends, but there's something I need to talk about to the parents of Grosse Ile. I don't know how else to tell you this. I can beg you and I implore you to speak to your children. Another child was just killed on an e-bike a couple nights ago in Huron Township. Numerous kids have been injured in downriver, including Grosse Ile. I've not seen, and you know where I come from, you know what I did, and you know what I do now as an accident reconstructionist. I've never seen the injuries and the deaths that I've seen in the downriver area in southeast Michigan and all around everywhere that have these e-bikes and scooters. I don't know how else to tell you this, but you better pull your kids in and tell them you've got to be cognizant of 3,000 pound, 4,000 pound vehicles that you don't seem to look for. Everyone in this room probably has a story how they almost hit a scooter or a e-bike that wasn't looking going through an intersection. You must abide by all the rules. People don't think a bicycle has to stop Do they stop at stop signs? Well, no, they don't. Should they? Yes, at intersections. But do they all the time? No. Bicycles have to go by the rules of the road, so do the e-bikes. And Margaret, I don't know, I gotta meet with Todd. The police department has their hands full just being police officers. I know that, I'm not saying that their involvement now in our training with these e-bikes and these scooters, I don't know if our ordinance is stiff enough. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it's,
He would tell you he's very concerned.
yeah, I don't know if it's tough enough. We may have to tweak the ordinance. They're supposed to be going slower because of the ordinance. They can't be on the trails in the ordinance where people are walking. They can be on the bike path. The fast e-bikes have to stay on the road. We don't want them on the bike paths. But they've got to learn. I don't know how else to say this. They've got to learn to drive these things correctly. Kids keep dying. There can't be anything worse than to bury your child. I'm going to say it right now. There can't be anything worse. And now a friend of mine's, it was his grandson, that was just killed. So I don't know how else to tell you this as parents. Please just speak to your kids. Bring them in and say, look, are you stopping at stop signs? Are you looking both ways at intersections? Everybody on this board, everybody in the audience, I'll bet, has a story where they almost ran one directly over. And it's getting to the point where I don't know what else, we can do as the overseers of the community. I'm not, telling the parents, it's all up to you, but you can get through your kids a lot better than we can. And please, they're our greatest, children are our greatest resource in life. And to see how many are tumbling and how many lives are being ruined, I don't know how else to say this to you. I apologize. I'm probably not in the best mood tonight, but I'm not trying to be nasty to any parents out here. I'm a parent, it is what it is, but please talk to them. We don't need more children getting hurt. They're getting hurt on Grosse Ile. We haven't had any deaths, which is great.
Well, we had a girl lose her finger.
Being maimed is awful.
It is.
That's awful. So, that's all I got for tonight. But please do that for me. Do it for you. Don't do it for me. Do it for your child. How about that? Do it for your child, because I think you as parents are the best to be able to get to them. So that is it for me tonight. Thank you, Derek, for the Wayne County News release and the explanation. And thank you again to the bridge commissioners. And Ann, thank you. Did you come from Minnesota?
Yeah,
Oh,
I used to live in Michigan.
Her flight's tomorrow morning, so she has nothing better to do than sit through the rest of
I was
this.
going to say, why did you stay here then? But thank you. All right, so that's it. Now we have one more public comment. I don't think anybody, let me see behind any public comment. Oh,
Ryan's got
we
one.
do have one.
Yep, I've got one.
Yes.
Todd Thiessen, Island Boulevard. Under prohibited home occupations, Chapter 285 lists tourist homes as a prohibited land use and/or home occupation. I believe the context of the term tourist homes was meant to include short-term rentals like Airbnb, Vrbo, etc. If this isn't correct, then would someone from the township please contact me and tell me why? That is all I have.
Okay, you know what? If he's listening, maybe he can send an email, or can you forward an email to Sean? I think Sean would be the best to answer that. I think that would be helpful to him. All right. Thank you. No public comment? I need a motion to adjourn then.
Motion?
to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. All
Aye.
opposed? Nay. All right, 8.